The officials for tonight's match are Grace Barrett, and Ginny Dispeners.
Oh, she's an idiot.
And now the starting lineup for tonight's opponent.
Yeah, no, chick from the Star News. She's out there with her 600. I said, we're going to have fun with heat waves. Well, we'll see. Oh no, because you won't in.
And now, let's beat the starting lineup for your Indy!
Championship Saturday afternoon here in downtown Indianapolis. In the second year of the W League, the Indy 11 will take on the North Carolina Courage U23 for the right to claim the championship. Today's match on ISC and 11 Sports, presented by Community Health Sports Medicine. Exceptional care simply delivered by Alpha Health and Wellness, the official team chiropractor for the Indy 11 W League, and by AES, accelerating the future of energy together. Our broadcast location has changed from Grand Park. We are now down at Carroll Stadium on the campus of IUPUI, an historic women's and men's doubleheader today from the campus of IUPUI. Up in the broadcast booth alongside Angela Berry White, my name is Greg Rakestraw. Thank you so much for joining us. And Angela, you have won a state championship in this building. You've competed for a state title in a sport in this building as well. What's the emotions going through these teams right now, knowing what's on the line this afternoon?
Pure excitement. Both of these teams, they have players that are experienced playing in big games. You look at the Courage U23 team, you have many players that played in last year's NCAA finals with UNC. And then conversely, on Indy 11, you have quite a few pros, and they've played in some big games themselves. So you know what? They're both excited. They both teams have circled this date to play this game. So therefore, that's what they're looking at doing. They're looking at coming out here and playing a very competitive game and being excited.
We have had the pleasure of seeing this Indy 11 team numerous times this season. This is our first chance to broadcast a match involving this very talented squad from North Carolina. You scouted them this week like any head coach would. What caught your attention about just why this group is 14-0-1 and playing for a championship?
Well, they can definitely finish their opportunities. They have a high potent offense with just about anybody that they put on the field. They have balanced scoring, which is nice to see. So, defensively, you just can't key on one player. Then they love to get their, outside backs into the attack, which is something that you love to see. I love to see it as a coach, because what are you going to do? You're going to offset, the balance of the defense that you're going against, because you want to have numbers up situations. So, I look to see the Courage do that once again, getting into that attack and forcing Indy 11 to, see what they can do best on the defensive side.
With that, let's get to our keys to the game. They are brought to us by your Central Indiana Honda dealers. Central Indiana is proud to be Honda's home turf, too. Let's start with the transition game.
Well, exactly. Talked about that. What you're going to have here is you're going to have these teams try and win that ball and get numbers forward. Try not to get themselves exposed too much. Then win the midfield. It's going to be a great defensive battle. On the Courage side, you have 3 Duke players that are used to playing with each other. They play together at Duke. And then on the Indy 11 side, we pushed Aaliyah Martin now into the midfield, and she does very well in controlling all types of tempo. We saw it last weekend in that game, and when she pushed up in the midfield, she was able to create some chances. And then let's see who's going to have the best composure in the final third. And that's what it's going to come down to, because those chances are going to be few and far between, and let's see who can get that job done in the final third.
The Brickyard Battalion is at full song. It is the second time that the Indy 11 women have played in this building. They beat Detroit City in a regular season match a year ago. With that, we'll take this quick timeout. We'll come back with starting lineups and opening kickoff from the campus of IUPUI. It's next on ISC.
For over a century, Indiana has been the destination for sports innovation and the state where champions are crowned. Now, we're entering a new era with Sports Tech HQ, a place that inspires innovation and invests in entrepreneurs who are changing the game, one startup at a time. Welcome to the crossroads of sports and technology. Sports Tech HQ, home of the game changers.
It's very true that it takes a village to raise a child. And when it comes to my healthcare village at Community Health Network, it's all nestled right in my phone. Accessing healthcare is the ability to be connected with your provider and ask a question when you need it. I feel like when I'm meeting with a community nurse practitioner or doctor, they're tuned in to what is going on with me and the way that they can serve me best.
Stand by me. You're looking at our future, working together, learning from each other, and teaching everyone how our lives can improve with greener, smarter energy. At AES, we champion this innovation, and the work we're doing globally is coming right here to Indianapolis, so that our community can enjoy smart energy solutions that power our lives while energizing the next generation of innovators. IPL is now AES Indiana. We are accelerating the future of energy together.
Real quick, if you are sending video to a college coach, would you want it to look like this? Did he save it? Who knows? Come on. Do you want your potential coach to see that video or this one? Of course, the answer is simple. Give us a call or check out our website, recruitproductions.com, for more information.
Our national anthem just being wrapped up here at Carroll Stadium on what is a warm Saturday afternoon, but frankly, for a Saturday in late July, could be a lot worse. Temperatures are in the low 80s, a mixture of sun and clouds. Again, because of the turf, the temperatures on the field are going to be a whole lot warmer. Let's get to our starting lineups. They too are brought to us by your Central Indiana Honda dealers. Central Indiana is proud to be Honda's home turf too. For the Indy 11, once you get to the playoffs, your lineup tends to settle in a great deal. Names are largely the same, but you noted this, Angela, in the last segment. Aaliyah Martin had the game winner against the San Francisco Glens 8 days ago. Normally plays the center back. She's playing in the midfield. What do you think is the reasoning from Paul Dolinsky behind that?
She's a calming force. She'll be able to do so many things. Not only win the ball defensively, but she will be that key link up going forward. Talk about somebody who can put the ball on a dime at the feet or link in behind those defenders, find those spaces, and she'll be a key factor in their momentum going forward.
On the flip side, for the Courage U23 of North Carolina, again, virtually all of their players come from the Raleigh-Durham Research Triangle area. So many players that play at North Carolina who were the runners-up last year in the College Cup, losing to UCLA. Starting goalkeeper for UNC and Emmy Allen gets the nod. A mixture of players that are still in high school. Mia Oliaro was the young player of the league in the W League this season. 5 goals and 5 assists. She too will play for Anson Dorrance. She just enrolled this spring.
Yeah, you look at their the U23 team for the North Carolina Courage. In their midfield, they have 3 familiar faces for each other because they all play together at Duke. That'll be a contributing factor to their success today. And then also, this is a team that their academy team has produced players, and they are either alums or current academy players, their entire starting 11 tonight.
And the U19 North Carolina Courage Academy won the USL Academy Cup earlier this year. Very successful. Want to thank our friends at Select. They are the official match ball supplier of the USLW League and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit www.us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. Indy 11, as is standard, the blue checkered kits. North Carolina Courage U23, the road white tops. This is an east-west pitch alignment. There isn't a little bit of breeze coming from the west today. Normally when we're playing here in the evening, that setting sun can be an issue for the goalkeeper looking towards what would be the left edge of your screen. That is not the case for the kickoff of just past 2 o'clock. Last year it was South Georgia Tormenta that defeated Minnesota Aurora to claim the inaugural league championship. Last year, 44 teams competed in the W League. This season, 65 teams took to the field this summer. We are down to the final 2, and we thank you for joining us on the ISC Sports Network as well as 11 Sports. Jenna Chatterton, she plays at the University of Tennessee, local product from Noblesville. She will provide speed on the outside flanks. Addie Chester, again, also a local product from Delta High School. She plays at the University of Louisville. There are 2 sets of college teammates that are playing on opposite sides in today's game. The 2 starting goalkeepers both play at the University of North Carolina. Nona Reason for the Indy 11 is the backup at UNC. But there are also a set of teammates that play together at the University of Louisville. Mackenzie Geigel of North Carolina Courage U23. She's teammates with Addie Chester, who's in the starting lineup. She was a teammate of Maisie Whitsitt, who will come off the bench for the Indy 11 today. And the same for Lizzie Sexton, as of the 18 players that Paul Delinsky has in uniform this afternoon, 3 of them have played or will continue to play at the University of Louisville. Williams, the one-touch ball for Katie Soderstrom. Soderstrom plays that off of a defender. That was Katie Groff that took a turn off of. And easy play for Emmy Allen to get this game going.
Yeah, Soderstrom there had a quick look. She thought she had somebody at the top of the box. And good thing that Courage got some numbers back, and that's why it was kind of deflected there.
North Carolina Courage taking a little time here to reset numbers. And you will hear the Brickyard Battalion throughout the course of today's game. That group has been tailgating here since 11 o'clock this morning. And again, they've got 2 matches to celebrate today, with the men playing against Tampa Bay Rowdies at 7 o'clock. Soderstrom dispossessed. Soderstrom just wrapped up a spectacular 5-year career at Butler University, and a local product, having played for Carmel High School before just heading a few miles south to play collegiately. She was in the top 5 at the end of her career in both goals and assists for the Bulldogs in the Big East. Space in the midfield being carved out. This is Brooklyn Holt. You may have heard of her dad, Tori, that played for the St. Louis Rams. Mom's a pretty fair soccer player in her own right at North Carolina State, which is where Brooklyn plays now.
Right, and there she is trying to, free Oliaro into the attack, but it was just played a little bit too hard there, take a little bit of weight off that pass. She'll probably have a little bit better opportunity going forward.
So far, possession controlled by the Indy 11. And Indy 11 played 10 regular season matchups, went 8-1-1. The division in which the Courage played in, they played 12. They have just one blemish, so to speak, in the season one draw. They have won every other match. They have a total of 14 wins in 15 total matches played.
You know, these first 10 minutes or so, it looks like they're just trying to get a feel for one another, see, what they can get going. And right here is a catalyst for the Courage getting the ball to Oliaro.
And Oliaro, a U17 level national talent, will begin her days of playing at North Carolina coming up in the very near future. First true real build up here for North Carolina Courage U23 on the cross. Ella Rogers got there first for the Indy 11. She wears the captain's armband. She's one of the many players in her second season. But playing for the Indy 11, she will play at Xavier University.
It's a great job by the Courage to get the ball switched quickly, and Indy 11 was able to get back and have numbers in the box in that situation in the last possession.
Chatterton draws a defensive assignment. Even Alvarez up from her defensive spot. Ball flicked down, but quickly swept away back to midfield. Numbers back. Chester applying pressure. But Bella Askew is headed to play at Penn State. Able to knock it forward for the Courage U23 squad. So the 11 squad beat the San Francisco Glens 3-2 last Friday night. The match played at the Indoor Event Center at Grand Park. They won their conference by going up to Flint and winning twice, beating Flint City 3-0. And then beating last year the team that ended their season in Minnesota Aurora 1-0 on a Sam Dewey goal. Not the best of clearances for the Indy 11, but they'll respond quickly.
It appears Martin has dropped back deeper into the defense, and then Krasula is now pushed up into the midfield.
So in other words, they ignored what they put in their lineup and basically said, you know what, let's just go back to how we normally play it.
Exactly.
Well, of note, though, it's three in the back right now. So a little bit of a different formation. We have usually seen four throughout the course of this season for Paul Dolinsky's squad. But we also saw him tailor things last week against a very good San Francisco Glens team. Exactly.
You have Soderstrom kind of keeping an eye there on Oliaro, and in that instance, she was able to get the ball and unfortunately lost it. And Oliaro is going to be a key factor here. And you know what? She's going to use her size. She's we haven't been playing against too many offensive players that have been her size. So, Indy 11 to try and stop her is going to be a pretty big task today.
Bit of a giveaway in the midfield by the North Carolina Courage U23 team. Obviously, the Courage and NWSL team. Indy is used to competing against a team of similar ilk in Racing Louisville in their division, having won and drawn against the Racing Louisville Academy squad in matches played in early June. You see the connectivity so far just a little bit off for the visitors in this match.
Yes, they play at Wake Med Park, which is all grass, nice, Bermuda grass down there in Carolina, and to come up here and play on turf, it is different. It is good. The ball's going to get away from you a little bit more, and so weighted passes, you have to properly hit them to make sure that they don't go out of bounds too soon, and you can make something out of them.
Of course, this match brought to us by our friends at Fluid Waste Services, Indiana's premier utility service provider since 1989. The press supplied here by the Indy 11. Maddie Williams, the player closest to it. Maddie, the former pro that left Purdue 6 years ago as the leader in both goals and assists in program history. The native of Perrysburg, Ohio, who is the oldest member of the Indy 11 at 28 years of age. But again, she also scored 13 goals playing in La Liga before coming home right after the pandemic in 2020.
Yes, Indy 11 has some quality players in terms of they've been able to play at the next level, the highest level, playing professionally, so that's been great to see.
Good job by Martin to charge forward. Martin played at the University of Michigan. Spent some time in the NWSL. That's the case for many of these Indy 11 players. Players that have played professionally but are once again listed as amateurs because they're not playing professionally now.
Correct, and North Carolina Courage and what they've been able to do and set up. They have the academy, and that leads to their NWSL team. And so a lot of these young players, that's where they aspire to be, just like on Indy 11 side.
Yeah, this is an all college or even high school of a team from North Carolina. They had one notable exception at times during the course of the season when Heather O'Reilly said, hey, I'll play a little bit if you'd like me to. And when a World Cup star says, I'll play, usually you say yes when that is the case.
And especially when, she's also the assistant coach at UNC now. And so she was playing alongside some of her current and soon-to-be players. And, World Cup duties have her someplace else.
Ball tackled away by the Courage U23 side. I loved Hayo's line about we're going to change the team name when I play to the U39 team. I like that.
Yes, Hayo has some good lines, definitely.
Yes, she does. Why she's in the media these days, too. Ball played across. Nervous moment here. Indy quickly clears it.
Once again, they did a great job of having numbers back and in the box and making sure that there wasn't anybody free.
Ball slid forward and just a bit too much on it. Off the corner flag, and it will be a goal kick coming for Nona Reason. Of course, this match is brought to us by Community Health Network. Exceptional care simply delivered.
We referred to the pace of play and getting weighted balls in terms of how you're going to play that ball. On grass, that ball probably isn't going to roll out. Oliaro gets it, but they're going to have to adjust how they're playing their passes and making sure that they can get on the end of those.
This turf is about 13 months old. Williams will track it down. She will draw a lion's share of attention. She basically played limited minutes in 4 matches this regular season and proceeded to score 7 goals the last 3 times she's played. These days she is a senior sustainability analyst, working off both her undergrad and master's degrees that she has obtained at this point. Soderstrom the takeaway. Tries to slide it through to Chester. Quickly knocked backwards by Brooklyn Holt. And a throw-in coming here for the North Carolina Courage. Again, this match presented by our friends at Community Health Sports Medicine. Exceptional care simply delivered. Care Battalion, they are a presence at every Indy 11 match, regardless of men or women, regardless of home or road. You'll hear them throughout the course of the broadcast today. And Soderstrom playing slightly out of position, but she kind of played a little bit further back last week in the victory against San Francisco.
Well, like you had mentioned and pointed out, that they're playing basically 3 in the back. They are trying to force numbers into the midfield, and so therefore try and win that midfield battle, and that'll be helpful. But if all of a sudden they get numbers forward, Courage, they're going to have to drop back a little quicker to make sure that transition, that they're not affected by it.
Grisula now will drop back and make it 4, just to get a little bit of an outlet. Sam Dewey on the touch, the former star at both Xavier and Triton Central. Sam played with Real Betis after her days at Xavier. Giveaway here. Ball taken away. Open opportunity. Reason in retreat. Shot taken. Save made by Nona Reason. And then Martin boots it back towards the center of the park.
Excellent save there by Nona Reason, getting that left hand up because, it was UNC Duke matchup right there. She wanted to make sure that player wasn't going to score.
And Maddie Williams was parked at the midfield stripe. So the flag stays down. Can she work away around 2? She's got Chester going forward. Just couldn't slide it to her in pace. And now the Courage have at least a moment to recover. Chester again trying to find Williams. The lead. Dewey back to Williams. Onside. Have a hit. Just missed it wide. All of a sudden, the game just opened up for a minute or 2 there.
Exactly, a little energy, a little shift in momentum. That awesome save by the Indy 11 goalkeeper. I think that kind of gave them a little spark, like, hey, we've got to do something on the other side.
And let's be honest, in a lot of these matches for each of these 2 teams, as we show you the replay of what Reason was able to do, the keepers have not been challenged all that much during the course of this year. So this is great in terms of player development, but you're also asking keepers things that they can do. Just haven't asked them to do it a great deal so far.
Exactly. You know, on that save, she had actually cut off that angle, and then, you know, just the quickness of her to deflect it with that left hand was great, and that spurred a quick shift, you know, for the Indy 11 team to try and get something going, and they did. They had nice composure there in the attacking third. They just didn't find the back of the net.
And again, Reason is from Southern California. She spent her senior year of high school here in the Indianapolis area, played at Noblesville High School, redshirted at North Carolina last year. The starter in front of her is Emmy Allen, who appeared in 26 matches this past year.
Well, it seems, and actually it's apparent, that University of North Carolina has some quality players, as we know, but they have 2 quality goalkeepers right here in front of us.
Are you telling me that North Carolina has some sort of like women's soccer tradition or history?
Slight.
Perhaps, just a little bit? Okay.
Yes.
I think I've heard that before. Here's Dewey. Williams cuts it to an open space, but teammate hadn't filled that space just yet. Rogers. Got the ball at her feet.
Excellent idea to come back out of that pressure and then try and get something going again.
Good job by Krasula. Krasula, an Australian. So I'm sure it is both wonderful and weird for her to watch from half a world away the World Cup taking place in Oz and New Zealand these last 2 or 3 days.
Exactly. It's in her backyard, but she's playing here in our backyard in the United States right now. So, you know what? I think she likes this weather slightly better. It's winter down there.
First, the U.S. women won last night over Vietnam 3-0. They will play against the Netherlands coming up on Wednesday, which was the match for the final some 4 years ago. You never know, there could be future national team players that you are seeing in this match today.
Exactly.
Barr will play it back, and Reason will just boot this ball 60 yards down the park.
And currently on the field for the Courage, you have an under-20 national team player, and Martinho, who plays for Duke, and then Oliaro, who's on the U17 team and started her career early at UNC last spring.
Offside flag goes up against the Indy 11. First time we have seen that from one of the assistant referees today. This is Maggie Graham that slides that ball forward. She was the only change in the starting 11 from last week's team that dispatched of Eagle FC in a semifinal. Once you get to this stage, even a shortened season, kind of a 2.5-month sprint, you kind of lock in on your 11 by the time you get to the playoffs.
Exactly. You want to have some consistency, and then you know, these teams have had bigger rosters this year, and they know who's going to be available at this time of year. So when they lock in, they know that they're going to have these players available deep into the postseason. Because many of these kids, as we know, they're back off to college here in the coming weeks.
And there are players that the Indy 11 are missing as well, but it's also part of the reason why when you have a solid core of kind of former pros who live in the Indy area, your lineup is not going to flip as much as, say, it did a year ago. There's also the case of you'll have players that get signed to professional contracts, as was the case by the right back for most of the season for the Indy 11 in Trinity Watson, who is going to play professionally in Cyprus. Here's Oliaro trying to break down her defender. That's Creel with her step for step, and Nona Reason able to make the relatively easy save.
She's quite versatile going left or right, Oliaro is, so she does not mind taking players on. That's why she's been a great goal scorer, and she was the newcomer of the year this season in the league.
Today's match brought to us in part by Fluid Waste Services, Indiana's premier utility service provider since 1989. Opportunity for Chester down the left side. Chester tried to play it across. Maybe would have been better served going for goal of her own right on that occasion.
Yeah, I thought she had a really good angle to attack, and she had already beaten the defender. She had her on her shoulder, just she made that half step and she was there. So having that chance again, she'll probably go for goal.
One dramatic save so far for Nona Reason. Other than that, the buildup has been solid for both, but don't think of any kind of nervy moments for either side. That was plenty nervy enough from the Indy 11 perspective a handful of moments ago.
Yeah, and in this instance right now, you just see they're just trying to figure out a way. Indy 11, they've slowed it down a little bit, and just trying to figure out where they can make those breaks in the line, get in behind that midfield. The midfield's playing pretty tight for the Courage right now, so as they continue to move the ball a little quicker, a little faster, find those gaps.
Rogers found an opening of space, quickly knocked away though. That was Ace Q that got back just in time.
That was an excellent play ball to split the defenders there.
Now Oliaro. And 5 goals and 5 assists this summer for the Courage U23. Creel. Ball knocked across back post, and Indy just got a touch to it. That was Krasula. Prevented a sitter from there waiting on the back post for the visitors.
And that's what the Courage want. They want to make sure that they can isolate and go 1v1 in those flanks, and in that instance, it was almost detrimental there to the Indy 11 squad as they were able to, clear the ball out of the box.
Of course, this match brought to us by Alpha Health and Wellness, the official Indy 11 W League team chiropractor. And alongside Angela Berry White, my name is Greg Rakestraw. Thanks for joining us. Whether you're watching on the official web portal of the USL W League 11 Sports, as you're watching us on ISC Sports Network, television channel, YouTube and Twitter as well. Oliaro is shot from distance that never comes close to threatening Nona Reason.
Great combination play with Oliaro there. Nice 1-2, and I'm sure that they're going to be mindful of that Indy 11, not to give those opportunities away like that.
So far, a good chunk of this match has just been kind of the Indy 11 back line trying to figure out a way to crack the code of this middle block. Long distance ball. Can Chester get their turf bounce on it forward to Williams? Great idea, but she's offside.
Yes, that was.
Maddie not happy about it, but I can tell you from our vantage point, that was absolutely the right call. She was clearly off on that play.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. I mean, excellent played ball. You have 2-on-2 in the attacking third, and Chester just stayed on it. She stayed on it, and problem was, had a little slight problem with if Maddie Williams would have held up her run, still would have been a goal, but she continued on with the run there.
Well, there is something to pushing the envelope in terms of those offside flags, and we're kind of seeing that from the Indy 11 here in the early going.
Yeah, you want to make sure that, you don't stop until you hear the whistle.
Right.
So you just continue to play. But it was a good opportunity just, see that if they could beat that back line, and they did. They went up high over the top, and they just continued their runs. One was just too far.
Aaliyah Martin tracks back. And Aaliyah, who in addition to playing a very high level of high school and club soccer, played some high school basketball. Good job to block out in that scenario to square away the oncoming attack.
Exactly. So she was, it's a nice way to put it. She was able to block out in that situation.
And the reason I know this, I can say this, because her high school coach is my broadcast partner for today. And you and Aaliyah have a great memory from this building, do you not?
Yes, we did. We were 1-1. We won a state title here, and then we were runner-up the next year. So, we had some great memories here.
And that team that you were the runner-up to is Penn High School, that happened to produce 3 players for the Indy 11 last year. One of them who just signed a pro contract to play in the Czech Republic yesterday in Molly McLaughlin. Congratulations to her. Creel hustling back, takes no chances, plays that ball to the side. Annika Creel, locally you may not know that name. That is Annika Schmidt. She just got married. Annika played at Butler, played at Zionsville, and spent time with the Houston Dash over the course of the last couple of seasons.
Yes, and so she's a veteran playing in the pro ranks, and she's just trying to get back into it. She had suffered an injury, so it's great to see her back on the field and, work her way back into the top league, which is, as you said, so many of these players are trying to do. They're just trying to, extend their careers and to go to the next level.
pressure now being picked up here by North Carolina Courage. Some teams kind of come flying out of the gates with it. They like to kind of let this match develop, and it's effective as they get a takeaway.
They picked the perfect time to press a little higher. They had 3 people in the box to press, and they won that ball in the midfield.
Martin comes charging forward. Graham looks for an outlet. Here's Holt. Does Holt think about having to go from distance? Absolutely. But Rogers gets in the way. Holt again. This time elects to find a teammate. Good close down by Indy. And now Dewey.
Great read by Chatterton. She knew that that's where she was trying to go. Turn and go outside. She stepped into that passing lane.
Chatterton entering her 3rd year at the University of Tennessee. And I know that she's fought some injuries too, but I often joke, how good has Tennessee been? If Chatterton, who has been easily the fastest Indy 11 player the last 2 years, how good has Tennessee been if she's only played in 8 matches each of the last 2 years? She was Miss Soccer in the state of Indiana a couple of years ago.
Yes, and Tennessee plays in a great conference, you know, SEC, and she had a lot of upperclassmen in front of her. So in terms of, she'll get her chance. She will. She's a great player. She's learned a lot this summer playing in this league. You know, it served a great purpose, like not only for her, but for all these players. And so therefore, I'm sure she'll be getting some more quality time going forward.
Today's match presented in part by our friends at Alpha Health and Wellness. They are the official Indy 11 W League team chiropractor. Here's Dewey. Good job by Oliara to check back. Great read. The takeaway by Rogers. Here's Chester, entering her sophomore year at U of L. Trying to find Rogers. That was not a shot, but Rogers had just broken off her run.
She just had him. She would have continued on that run just inside the defender there. She probably would have been able to get a foot on it and perhaps beaten both of those with 1 or 2 touches.
That's going to be a foul whistle against Krasula. It has largely been a whistle-free match so far.
Yeah, they're quite mindful. That was Moxley coming back. And Moxley, yeah, number 15 there. She's a she'll be in her 5th year there at UNC.
In terms of college soccer, she's the most experienced player on the pitch for the visitors this afternoon. Our Daily Sports This Match brought to us by Recruit Productions. If you want to play college soccer, let Recruit Productions tell your story and get you noticed. Visit recruitproductions.com for more info. Thanks to our buddy Matt Wright for his support all season long.
Martinez doing a great job in the midfield for the Courage there. Number 9 coming in.
Good job to widen the field, just the wrong ball. Great job to use all of the park, just the wrong ball in from the Courage.
Exactly. They had actually one player coming in just at the top of the box. She could have taken a little bit more time, or she should have hit it far post because Oliara was wide open there.
Those weren't channels, those were canyons that developed along the back line. Now here's Williams, times the run perfectly. She's got Chester to her right if she can get it to her. Left foot by Maddie, goes all the way across and never threatens the goal. Goal kick coming for the Courage U23.
Yeah, there in that instance, Indy 11 could have had a few more numbers up, I think, just to try and create a little bit more than just settling for that. And the Courage, they get numbers back quite quickly. Excellent change there. Switch of field.
Opportunity here. Graham plays it across. Asked for a handball, didn't get it. And this game keeps bouncing back and forth between kind of cagey in the midfield to then just up and down the park. And it seems when one team takes a foot forward, other teams ready to counter like that.
Exactly, and I think that's what's going to happen a lot in this first half. They've got a lot of energy going, and you're going to have, yes, that shift in momentum, and it's just going to be how the other team responds. And that one time when the other team doesn't respond, that's where I think a goal's going to come in handy for, who's ever going to want it just a little bit more.
Indy played a back-and-forth game like that in terms of the scoreline last week. San Francisco matched them the first 2 goals that they scored. It was a 1-0 Indy 11 lead, Glenn's level. A 2-1 Indy 11 lead, Glenn's level. Indy then craftily did not give San Francisco time to level by scoring the winner in the 91st minute from Aaliyah Martin.
And that could serve them in terms of how they're able to respond. And here's a great run by Oliaro.
Lays it wide.
There to her UNC teammate.
That's Moxley on a touch. Back to Oliaro. Couldn't slide it past. Tremendously defended by Soderstrom. Not only that, look at the outlet ball to Chester. Even though Holt closed her down quickly, that was a heck of a find from 50 yards away.
It really was, and she did a great job getting her head up and wanting to get in the attack.
Some space outside of the 18 here. Alvarez turns down the opportunity. Ball sent in Reason will gobble it up. We mentioned Alvarez. She is one of the youngest players on the field for North Carolina Courage U23. She played in a couple of U17 friendlies against England earlier this year.
She, her age might be young, but she's played some, a lot of quality games at higher levels, and I think that serves her. It's going to be, great background for her to move forward and to continue to get better.
Chester. Doing a good job to hold up her spot. Goes against the pressure of Katie Groff. And for Chester, she knows so many of these players well because of having played against them in the ACC.
Yes, at this level, there's quite a familiarity with so many of the players.
Rogers just couldn't make the right run in midfield. Soderstrom. So 30 minutes in. Again, really one threatening moment so far. That was a giveaway at the back by the Indy 11. Nona Reason stepped up mightily to make the sprawling save with her left hand to keep this match level at 0-0. Are we going to have a hydration break? Yes, we are. So, again, as summer days go in July, this is pretty good. But on the turf, it is probably still in the 100-degree range. So, quite all right with giving both teams a bit of a breather at the 30 and 75-minute marks.
I totally agree there. It's all about the player's safety, and at all levels they do, they've done this before. So, it's not only a water break, but it's going to be a time to kind of tell your players, hey, you know what? For North Carolina, how many times have you gotten into the final third there only to make a cross, and who's there? Nona Reason. So I bet you they're going to be talking now about when you're getting, you're getting to that byline, you're getting down there. Take a look up, see where your runs are. Then, Coach Delinsky's probably telling Indy 11, hey, you know what? We take the air out of the ball. We're passing it around. Let's have a little bit quicker transition and get those numbers in the box, because there's been, on a couple occasions, there's only been 2 forwards up top.
Hydration 1, tactics 2 in terms of this momentary break. Want to thank a new sponsor of ours, our friends at AES, for coming on board for this USL W League Championship game. AES, accelerating the future of energy together. Together with Angela Berry White, my name is Greg Rakestraw. Thank you so much for joining us. It is our honor to broadcast this second W League Championship match here on 11 Sports, as well as the ISC Sports Network. Again, you've been familiar with the highest levels of this sport in this country for the last 3 decades. This is kind of your first month to 6 weeks around this specific league. What has impressed you so much about the W League to this point?
Well, first and foremost, the expansion and the commitment to continue to grow the women's game. I won't say how many years ago I played, but as a precursor, it was known as the U-Swizzle. Now that's a lot of words in there, and we maybe had 12 teams, maybe 15. There'd be like 5 new ones. So to see it now at this level, having this many teams and committing to the women's game is so important to our growth. And to see this level, it's excellent. And I'm just so proud to see where we are as a country, and also here as a community, and other communities throughout the United States that are giving these young ladies a chance to continue to play and to play at a high level.
We'll talk more about the W League as well as the Super League with Amanda Vandervoort, who heads up both for the USL. She's in town and will join us at halftime. Soderstrom looking back post, right idea, had Dewey just overcooked the pass a little bit. But there is Chatterton with that speed, playing the role of the eraser. Great tackle by the Courage U23 to knock that ball back to midfield.
And right out of that hydration break, it was let's get the ball up quickly in terms of what Indy 11 did, and they had 3 numbers in the box, and they had a 4th one trailing at the top of the box. So maybe Coach Dillingsley did say, let's get some more numbers forward.
Very high line being held by the Courage U23 right now. Krasula has a diagonal ball if she sees it. Now she does, but just a bit too far. But she made the right read. A little too much on the pass.
A little too much on the pass, and perhaps she holds that, plays it to split the 2 defenders so that as Chatterton's running through, she's able to get her foot on that ball.
Well, you talked about it, and frankly, this applies to almost every match, but we really thought it would here today. The battle of who's going to win the midfield. Have we established a winner in that battle just yet?
Not yet. If you want to look at just connected passes, I would think perhaps that you would say you'd give the nod to the Courage, and then just in terms of trying to win the possession in the back, I'd say the Indy 11 are doing a good job with being patient and trying to find that opening.
Possession, I would say slightly tilts in favor of the Indy 11. Dangerous possession, probably a little bit more in favor of the visitors.
And here comes Martin.
Martin charging forward again. Right idea. It's that touch around the 18 that right now is letting the Indy 11 down.
Right, she was able to have a nice pass out from the back, and she actually made a good 15-yard run to get forward.
And the Allen content to let her teammates move a little bit forward. Had 70 saves now than last year for the Tar Heels. And runners up to UCLA in the College Cup final. She will be a redshirt sophomore. She is basically one class ahead of her teammate Nona Reason, who's in goal at the other end of the park for this championship match. Dewey knocks it sideways to Chatterton.
Yes, it was a great ball, well played. If nothing's on, let's see if they recycle.
Dewey got tangled up, and that will be a foul against the Courage U23. Dewey these days, the Director of Athlete Development at Sogility, a great partner of the Indy 11. So she works full-time in soccer, just not as a professional soccer player. But I think she is debating, do I make that attempt to go back to Europe next year? Do I give the Super League a look next year as well? All part of the things that the Triton Central graduate from the southeast side of Indianapolis can think about at the conclusion of this match.
Exactly, and just knowing that there are other opportunities, that's the main thing here. Other opportunities post-graduation for these players.
Right now your chances are you've got 12 teams you can play with from a professional standpoint in this country. Looking back post, Allen couldn't collect it. Got a player down on the turf, and they're going to play it to the side to be able to go back.
Yeah, that was, I'm sure we're going to see what happened here. It was, looks like 2 heads were hit, and then of course, Emmy Allen came up and over Annika Creel, as I keep wanting to refer to as
Understood.
Schmidt. So there you have it. Check in on her just to make sure.
Yeah, you kind of start doing the number elimination game, checking, okay, what numbers are you seeing? And it's Creel, who again was up for the restart. Normally a center back.
Now she is dangerous in the air. We've seen that, and there it is once again as to what happened, just getting knocked in the back of the head there.
It is a contact sport. It's going to happen from time to time.
Yes, it is.
Let's thank our friends at AES. AES, accelerating the future of energy together. And frankly, goalkeepers, and understandably so, are such protected species. I frankly like that whistle. The goalkeeper initiated that contact. Things will have to kind of play on there.
Right.
Chester kind of switching up sides of the attack here. Last touch by Oliaro. Well, to be blunt, this is longer than both these two teams usually are going to a match without scoring a goal.
Yeah,
That shows you how level these two are with each other today.
Right, and so it's going to be almost like a game of chess.
Right.
And then, you know, it's going to be, yes, who's going to put away those opportunities? Okay, one, you know, each side, of course, Courage had a much better opportunity going one-on-one, but just might come down to that one opportunity.
Good pressure by Rogers, just couldn't intercept the pass. Another good job by Martin to step up. Just Krasula could not maintain possession. Now here's an opportunity. The find to Dewey. Dewey charging forward. Sam Dewey, kick save and a beauty. Well, now both keepers have made one tremendous play to keep this match level and goalless.
And what a play there. Martin stepped up. Instead of holding on to that ball, one more touch. She got the quick touch on it. Goes to Dewey. Dewey uses her speed, splits those two defenders. Got a great shot, you know, but what was even better was the save, because she came out, she cut down that angle.
Dewey with 9 goals over the course of the 13 Indy 11 summer matches. She is the team's leading scorer. Sam had 13 goals her senior season at Xavier 4 years ago. Long distance ball to find Oliaro. Oliaro's onside.
Great 1-2 there.
Knocks it forward, but Graham was the target. Rogers racing back and plays it sideways. Throw in, not a corner coming here.
Yeah, spoke specifically that, you know, I thought that Courage had done a great job in the midfield right there. 2 passes, beat the entire midfield. They were able to switch it to Oliaro, and then she had a nice 1-2 up top. But Indy 11 was there to make sure that nothing else happened.
Graham has a hit, goes up and over the bar. Player went down in the box for the Courage. He was asking for the foul, which would have been the penalty. That was Geigel, and officials said, nope, not enough in it. Of course, this match, by the way, sponsored by our friends at Johnson Controls. Johnson Controls, the power behind your mission. Martin, Soderstrom, Dewey, give and go for Soderstrom, gets around Holt, plays it across, Chester not time to get there, and Allen will knock it back to the midfield.
Excellent pace by Dewey on that pass. Took a little bit off of it. Nice bending ball so that Soderstrom could get to it and give a service.
Oliaro, ball will roll out on her on the turf a little bit, but she'll track it down. Creel. Now Graham. Graham looking back post, but it's a ball a little flatter and wider than she had hoped for, and eventually a throw in coming for the Indy 11. Well, the scoreboard would tell you this, but again, this has been to me a remarkably evenly played game.
Yes, you know, you have 22 quality players, and both of them, as we've seen coming up to this game, have each been able to score not 1, not 2, 3 and 4 goals at a time. I know that against Aurora, you know, coming back, and for the Indy 11, they were able to, you know, avenge that 1-0 with a 1-0, you know, win. But they're both prolific goal-scoring teams, and figured as much, because knowing the talent that's on the field, that it was going to be, you know, a tight match.
Chester, she and Dewey not on the same page. Indy does have a 1-0 victory in the playoffs. That came against Minnesota Aurora. That was 2 weeks ago on Saturday, July 8th. Opportunity here for the visitors. And that'll be a foul. Dewey took a little bit of liberty there in the midfield with Martino.
Yeah, she's getting to talking to. You didn't really need to, get that last hand on her to push her down. Right now, Martino's doing an excellent job for the Courage of controlling that pace. And that's somebody that the Indy 11 are going to have to look for and try and shut her down a little bit more.
Ball played across. Martin got a boot to it. Swept back, but not in a danger just yet from the Indy perspective. Another ball looking set in here.
Back post.
Oliaro. Some loose change, but Reason able to gobble it up.
Yeah, it was a great, excellent back post ball. Oliaro probably needed to get a little bit more on that, but it was a great read. Great read by Nona Reason there.
I think the ruling is that
it's goal kick now.
Goal kick. I think a ball crossed the byline without anybody kind of noticing it.
Goal kick or a foul, knowing that it's that she set it so far back.
Yeah,
so
foul.
I think
Has to be a foul. Yep.
The foul because was able to have contact with the goalkeeper there, or a little miscommunication here.
Well, we're going to have a conversation about this that's going to equate to the difference about 5 yards.
Yeah.
But again, it gives players a little extra 30-second breather here. Great job by our camera crew to show you the possible infraction. It will be a goal kick, so let's set it on the 6. But
there we go.
Well, we have the chance. Thank you, Rob Lynch, Charlie Hammock, Elijah Mash, David Kahn, and Jordan Shue, the brains of the operation that are bringing you our match coverage today on ISC and 11 Sports. Our pleasure to bring you Indy 11 matches for each of the last 2 years on ISC. We are thrilled to have the broadcast coverage of this W League Championship. Dewey. Great touch by Rogers.
Great switch there, stepping into the midfield. Martin over to Dewey. Dewey's able to come back outside.
Let's talk about this from the Indy perspective with Soderstrom. Again, she played up top in both high school and at Butler. She wants to play pro. It's the reason why she's playing this summer. What do you see her skill set translating to as a pro? Is she more of a forward or more of a midfielder?
Well, if she plays in a forward, she has to make sure that she's not going to be the fastest forward on the field, but what she can do is she can create. So she could play as a withdrawn forward, and then in the midfield, she has shown promise in terms of what she's able to do in terms of connecting.
Opportunity here, Creel does not take any chances, just plays it sideways. By the way, 3 minutes of added time. 3 minutes will be happening here in a matter of moments.
It's a great decision there by Creel just to turn the ball outside, and let's make sure that we don't have any issues.
Collision, but again, ball first. I think it's been a very well officiated match to this point. Williams serves as a safety valve.
Excellent opportunity there. Courage plays the ball outside.
Great run by Alvarez. Delivers. Opportunity here for a quick turn. Never get a quality shot away.
Oh, looked like Martino. She was trying to get the ball over on the left-hand side. She didn't quite get it up, but they still maintain possession here.
Oliaro again looking back post. It'll go all the way through for a throw-in. Well, this reminder, fans, there's another great event coming up on the USL calendar. It's the second annual Summer Showcase. It signals the start of the sprint to the finish. Philip Goodrum and FC Tulsa head west to face Mario Williams and the Switchbacks in Colorado Springs. FC Tulsa Switchbacks FC. It's Wednesday, August 9th at 9 on ESPN2. Fans, at night you can watch Indy in action at 7 o'clock on ESPN+, and then flip over to ESPN2 to catch the Summer Showcase, which last year was held in Louisville. Grace Barr did not hit that the way she wanted to. Bit of a giveaway here. Let's see if the Courage can pounce quickly. Another great read by Rogers. Rogers playing a little further back than she normally would as well. She has been her typical solid self. Xavier played in 2 NCAA tournament matches last season. She scored in both of them.
Yeah, she's been a great player for the Indy 11 this season.
Williams with the veteran move. I can't beat the right back. Let me go to ground. Drew the whistle. Well done by Maddie Williams.
Yes, well played by the Indy 11 forward there, and as you said, she's a veteran. We'll see what Indy 11 can create off this free kick. We haven't seen too many free kicks at all, so we'll see what happens. The last time, got it into the box, and Annika Schmidt, or Annika Creel.
That's quite all right.
Was disrupted by Emmy Allen there, making sure that nothing was going to get inside the 18.
It'll be Grace Barr that'll send it in. A little too far for her to have a hit from distance here. Back post headed down. Allen has to knock it away, and that ball will reach the corner flag. So now the last activity of the half will be from the corner flag, which is why Sam Dewey looked at teammates and said, get forward.
Excellent pace on that ball by Grace Barr, served it in. Liam Martin times that perfectly, but only to be one-upped by Emmy Allen on her timing of that save.
2 great saves versus 1. That's the difference in this match so far, of which there is no difference on the scoreboard. Barr sends it in. Lined up in traffic, have a hit, doesn't get through. This ball will trickle to the touchline, and now, we'll look at the referee. That's it, and that's all. An exceedingly well-played half, an amazingly balanced first half, which did not net a single goal. But frankly, 2 teams that have shown their technical merit as to why they should be here in this championship match.
Yes, very quality 45 minutes there. I'll touch on this last play. It was a floated ball into the box. Let's have a driven ball in there, because if you're going to have a floated ball out at about 14 yards out, you're going to have to be one heck of a header to try and get that ball back towards goal. So in terms of capitalizing on their opportunities, there needs to be something better in the final third.
For 2 very electric and high-scoring teams, 1 goal may be all there is in this one. At halftime of the USL W League Final, it is Indy 11-0. North Carolina Courage U23 0. Stay tuned. A special guest will join us next as you're watching the W League Final on the ISC Sports Network and 11 Sports.
Looking to keep your home comfortable year-round? Look no further than Masters Heating and Cooling. Right now, you can save up to $2,599 on new system installations with 0 down and up to 72 months financing. That's unbeatable value and unbeatable comfort. And if you're just looking to maintain your current home comfort system, we've got you covered with a $69 tune. Don't miss out. Both offers expire April 30th. Contact Masters Heating and Cooling today and experience the ultimate in home comfort.
I'm a happy-go-lucky guy, but sometimes I get a little stressed because I'm not for sure what's going to happen down the road. I was at the cancer unit, and when I come out from seeing the doctor, I said something about needing some help with all the paperwork. They gave me a name and a phone number. Her name is Molly. She works over at Community. She tells me, stop worrying, let me take care of it. She is my angel.
Stand by me. You're looking at our future, working together, learning from each other, and teaching everyone how our lives can improve with greener, smarter energy. At AES, we champion this innovation, and the work we're doing globally is coming right here to Indianapolis, so that our community can enjoy smart energy solutions that power our lives while energizing the next generation of innovators. IPL is now AES Indiana. We are accelerating the future of energy together.
It is halftime here at Carroll Stadium, the Mike in downtown Indianapolis in this W League Final. It is the North Carolina Courage U23 0 and the Indy 11 0. Today's match presented in part by Sports Tech HQ. Indiana winning is in our DNA. For more information, visit forthewinners.com. Well, we're going to make this like an annual tradition because the last time the two of us, you're about to see on camera, had this conversation, it was the first match in the history of the W League. That took place last May in Grand Park. Indy 11, a 3-1 winner against Kings Hammer FC. No winner has been decided just yet. I'm not sure we're going to have one decided in the next 45 minutes, to be honest with you, but somebody that is all smiles because of the crowd and knowing a second year of the W League has been completed. She heads up both the W League and the Super League. It is Amanda Vandervoort that joins us now. Commission, it's good to see you. Congratulations on a great second season.
Thank you, thank you. What energy, what a game we've got today, huh? This is such a tremendous final and a great cap to an amazing season.
Well, obviously from a numerical standpoint, we can simply say, hey, 44 teams versus 65,
yep.
8 playoff teams versus 16. What are the things that you point to as well that's growth in year number 2?
Yeah, I mean, I think the standards that we set across the league demonstrate really the commitment that all of our clubs have to the W League and to the growth of professional women's soccer and pre-professional women's soccer like we have here in the W League. So we look at the growth of the fan base. Certainly there's more people watching games, more girls get the opportunity to see their heroines out there on the field, and obviously more opportunities for more players to be on the field.
Well, obviously you have been busy with both W League and Super League duties, but this is the last year where this is the only one that takes the field. So what will 2024 be like for you, where you've got W League action from May until July, and then the Super League kicks off next August? What's that year going to be like for you?
That's right. Well, so the Super League will play on the international calendar, so we'll run from the fall through to the May, June of the following year,
Correct.
which is when our playoffs and championship will be. So the W League in the summer months gives us that year-round calendar where you've got women's soccer all the time. So fans here in Indianapolis, once the W League and the Super League are both going here, are going to have the opportunity to experience the highest level of women's soccer all throughout the calendar season. So next year, yeah, we're excited, we're pumped, to have that kind of lead in. Not only the W League, the Olympics will be next year in Paris, right before we kick off the Super League. It's women's soccer in this country is on fire.
So 8 teams will begin playing the Super League as of next year. 5 more slated to begin playing upon completion of stadium. And if we could turn that camera, I'd point 10 blocks and say that's where the stadium's going for the Indy 11 that we hope will be ready in time for August of 2025. I'll share with you this story. So Grace Barr, one of the leaders of this Indy 11 team who has played professionally, she is already 2 years out thinking the Super League is the destination she wants to play in. She's already planning this out 25 months from now. What does a statement like that mean to you?
Oh, it gives me goosebumps. My legs, my arms, it's amazing. It's, and she's not alone. She's not alone. The number of players who've reached out to me, whether they're overseas and haven't had a chance to play professional soccer here in America, or those who are in their college days or just graduating who want a job in pro sports and want to compete at the highest level. Everyone's talking about it, and the players are excited, and just that statement alone it's demonstrated proof of what we're building and why we're building it.
You talked about the lead-in from the Paris Olympics to the season next year. There is always the World Cup bump, whether it's men or women. So knowing we're just getting started of a month where women's soccer is such an international focus, what does that mean to your league this summer?
Listen, I mean, this morning we were watching Haiti versus England, right? And we have a W League player from our Miami team who played in goal for Haiti. She stood on her head. I mean, it was an incredible match, much like the 2 goalkeepers in this game, by the way, the W League final. With something with goalkeepers. Maybe it's because I'm a goalkeeper, Greg.
Of course.
No, it's been tremendous. And to be able to watch the international game, watch the Women's World Cup, unfold before us as we come and experience this game where it's right, in our hometowns is it's truly special. And I think from the United States to England and Brazil and Japan and Sweden and Norway, and seeing the growth of the game and how it's really developing is just it's special. People are investing in the game, and I think that's creating a pathway to a more evolved product, and it's bringing more people to watch the game, and it's incredible.
Amanda, we'll let you go enjoy the second half and maybe a little stoppage time and added time, kind of the way this is shaping out. Congratulations on year number 2, and let's keep this going as an annual tradition. Let's have one of these on-camera conversations every year,
We can have as many as you want, Greg. I'm here for it.
Amanda Vandervoort of the USL Super League and W League joining us, back with halftime highlights. Angela Berry-White rejoins in a matter of moments. 0-0 between the Indy 11 and North Carolina Courage U23 as you're watching on ISC and 11 Sports.
And the winner of the Indianapolis 500.
Indiana winning
is in our DNA. And we're winning the future with $22 billion in new business investment, building an economy of the future with unprecedented momentum. Indiana, for the winners.
Real quick, if you are sending video to a college coach, would you want it to look like this? Did he save it? Who knows? Come on. Do you want your potential coach to see that video or this one? Of course, the answer is simple. Give us a call or check out our website, recruitproductions.com, for more information.
The main part of my job is definitely listening. People deserve transparency. I don't want the financial part to be something that stops or hinders a patient from having the health care that they need. I try to treat each person like they're my mom or my grandmother, my daughter, my husband. I want them to know that they're not just another phone call for us. And it's very rewarding to know that I can provide peace of mind.
We want to welcome you back to Michael A. Carroll Track and Soccer Stadium. Greg Rakestraw, Angela Berry-White with you here on the ISC Sports Network as well as 11 Sports. And this reminder, you can take the boys or girls in blue with you wherever you go. Download the Indy 11 app in the Apple Store or get it on Google Play. Well, yes, there has not been a goal yet, but there are plenty of highlights that we can certainly share with you from the course of half number. Before we do that, we get a quick word from Angela Berry-White. Angela, your thoughts on what you saw in the opening 45 minutes?
Well, let's just say a very, very, very balanced game. You know, we did not see any mistakes, truly, glaring mistakes by either side because they did not result in a goal, but it was very balanced. I would give the midfield, when we talked about those keys to the game, midfield was owned by the Courage, okay? And there's a definite reason why Martino is on the U20 national team, because she did an outstanding job. She would receive it, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, it's a switched pass. She's looking to connect with, Geigel up top. She's looking to obviously to connect with Oliaro. But I will tell you what, Moxley was not involved too much. Watch for her up top to get more involved. On the Indy 11 side, let's see what you can do to get some numbers forward, because there's too many times where you did not have any more than 2 players in the box, and it's 2-on-3, it's 2-on-4. So, you know what? Let's see what they will do. But pretty evenly matched game, as we said.
Quick look at the highlights as they roll by. If you're Paul Dolinsky, what do you think your message was to your team at halftime? You talked about some tactics, but there's tactics and there's heartstrings. If you're Paul Dolinsky, what was your speech like to your ladies at halftime?
Hey, ladies, we have 45 minutes, Let's see what we can get done that first 15. Okay, we kind of played back, and in terms of being reserved in the attack, okay? Let's see if we could, kick it up a notch, and let's put some pressure on their backs, meaning that our forwards are a little bit more seasoned. They're a little, some of them have played pro, obviously, and their backs, they're very young. They're very young, so let's see if we can pressure them and get some numbers forward.
So again, coach's thoughts on what we might see in half number 2. What we have seen so far has been very even. Again, simply put, it has come down to just a handful of moments in front of goal. 1 spectacular save by Nona Reason. 2 tremendous saves by Emmy Allen. That is the second. Right now, that is the difference in this match. What has largely been a whistle-free opening 45 minutes has been so enjoyable to watch, even without a goal being scored. This reminder, fans in the Indianapolis area, join us for Soccer Saturday every Saturday morning on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan from 9 until 10. This week on the show, you would have heard from Grace Barr, Addie Chester, Mike Watts, and Devin Kerr. So it's time to do a soccer show with the women's team doing so well, not to mention the upcoming Women's World Cup. We'll talk more about that next Saturday on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. We'll take this quick timeout. Second half action comes your way next. Indy 11-0, North Carolina Courage U23-0. Back in a moment to this W League final on ISC. as well as 11 sports.
You're looking at our future, working together, learning from each other, and teaching everyone how our lives can improve with greener, smarter energy. At AES, we champion this innovation, and the work we're doing globally is coming right here to Indianapolis, so that our community can enjoy smart energy solutions that power our lives while energizing the next generation of innovators. IPL is now AES Indiana. We are accelerating the future of energy together.
It's very true that it takes a village to raise a child. And when it comes to my healthcare village at Community Health Network, it's all nestled right in my phone. Accessing healthcare is the ability to be connected with your provider and ask a question when you need it. I feel like when I'm meeting with a community nurse practitioner or doctor, they're tuned in to what is going on with me and the way that they can serve me best.
Stand by me.
Well, we talked about it with Amanda Vandervoort, but just a reminder for fans and maybe watching this level of soccer for the first time that the USL Super League is set to kick off next August. The new league will bring the highest level of professional women's soccer closer to home for fans across the country. Go to USLSuperLeague.com to learn more. Greg Straw, Angela Berry White with you here on this beautiful downtown campus. What is IUPUI will soon be known as IU Indianapolis by this time next year. The stadium that we are in has been the home for the Indy 11 men for 7 of their 10 years of their existence. This was first built for the National Sports Festival back in 1982. Served as the centerpiece of the Pan American Games in 1987. Hosted the USA Olympic Track and Field Trials in 1988. Has hosted the high school state soccer finals for many years. Hosted the high school state track and field finals for many years. One of those years, Angela Berry was one of the participants in said track and field state finals.
I've been fortunate to win 2 titles here in this facility. So, you know, it's one of my favorites, I must say.
There's a reason she was the Marion County Athlete of the Year back in the day. All right, so Chatterton with the ball at her feet to start things off for the Indy 11. No substitutions for either side to begin half number 2. And again, in a match of this significance, that is not surprising. And frankly, I think both coaches have to have it in their minds. There's a game plan for 90 and there's a game plan for 120. And the first half would tell you that second game plan might be necessary.
Yeah, they're going to look to perhaps save some, save a couple of those, players on the bench just in case they might need them in the waning minutes of the, 90.
Here's Alvarez. Only 3 high school age players in the starting 11 for the Courage today. Opportunity here. Great read by Reason, and there's a whistle. You've not seen anything that's come close to being card-worthy just yet, but that was Mackenzie Geigel that upended Reason on that play.
And on that, it was Martino who received the ball in the midfield, turned, and she had a just a nice dump over that back line. And yes, that is card worthy.
Yep.
She just didn't divert her run. She wasn't going to win that ball.
So the first yellow match is shown to Mackenzie Geigel. And she's going to play collegiately, or does play at the University of Louisville. Played in 15 matches a season ago.
Yeah, there on the replay, we did see she tried to hold up, and anytime you kind of stop that run and you do make contact with the goalkeeper, they're gonna make note of that.
Well, Mackenzie also noted the fact that our feed is on the giant video board at the end of the field as well, and Mason Point said, "Hey, take a look." Referee doesn't often have that luxury. But thank our friends at the Renaissance Indianapolis North Hotel. Treat yourself to an elegant stay at the Renaissance, just minutes away from both Grand Park and downtown Carmel. Here's Krasula. She plays at VCU. both these teams rely so heavily on players from their area. And again, for the North Carolina Courage U23, not all, but more than most have gone through their academy system to get to this point. Indy is still in kind of its infancy stages. They are developing quickly a tremendous academy program. But they are relying on simply great talent from this area, as well as those that there's kind of a recruiting connection to. Alvarez shoulder to shoulder, nothing wrong in that.
Nothing whatsoever. There was a great defensive battle there.
Chatterton then an errant touch to send it right back to Geigel.
Great composure here in tight spaces, you know, for the Courage. They're just looking to get out of it quickly, nothing to give anything away. They're able to switch the ball, switch the attack.
Here's Williams. Just kept that in the field of play to Oliaro. Creel will knock it back to the midway mark. This is Taylor Chisholm. Chisholm plays at NC State. And NC State, Duke, North Carolina, all represented in this starting 11. The research triangle might as well be the soccer triangle, given the talent that those players have. And the way the sports this match brought to us by Fluid Waste Services, Indiana's premier utility service provider since 1989. We talked about this earlier. There was some kind of connecting issues for these first 5-10 minutes or so for North Carolina. That's not been the case until that pass since that time.
Right, they've settled in and done a fine job just trying to figure things out a little bit, and that's what teams do. You know, they kind of test the waters, and, you know, if it's not on, and it does. And they are a younger squad when you think about it, so maybe the nerves did quite play into that.
An outstanding crowd on hand for this. One ticket price got you into both the men's and women's matches today here at Carroll Stadium. The men will play the Tampa Bay Rowdies coming up at 7 o'clock. That match in Indianapolis on WRTV Channel 6. Williams whistled for a foul. Of course, you can watch every USL Championship match on ESPN+.
Well, as Ace Q, she did an excellent job as a defender. You put your body between the ball, you know, and the man. And the only way that, you know, Indy 11 was going to get to that ball, Williams was going to be to go through her, and that's why the foul was called.
Just stayed in the field of play, but still taken back by the Indy 11. Williams able to sneak behind a defender for a moment, just couldn't get the controlling touch. Then Barr, like so many of her teammates, has played 2 years with the Indy 11 after playing at Xavier in Wisconsin. Here's Dewey. Turns down the hit from distance. Dewey goes down, but I would tend to agree with the non-whistle in that scenario.
An excellent way to stand up as a defender, and you committed to the tackle. She attacked that, you know, she attacked the front foot that the ball was on, and that's why she was able to win it. She didn't continue to back up in that instance.
Here's Alvarez. Now Moxley, I mean, you mentioned she was kind of a non-factor in the first half. Great looking ball here. Just couldn't deliver that next touch. Creel able to get in the way.
Yeah, it was a great read there by Creel. I mean, she stepped off. She saw that the ball was just going to be played one touch.
Williams. Chester. That's awfully tough to get that ball through. There were basically 5 sets of eyes between Williams and Chester on that distribution.
Yep, Courage did a great job in getting numbers back quickly behind the ball. Their midfielders are working 18 to 18, or actually less than that because we haven't seen too much action here in the attacking third by the Courage yet.
Soderstrom couldn't get in the way of that one. Creel on an island. Oliaro to the edge of the 18 has a hit, but an atom ball directed right in the breadbasket of no reason.
Right, I thought for sure because she did not have quite the shot that she probably wanted, that she was going to dump it back to just behind that back line. 3 players for Indy 11 stepped to that ball at that time. You know, kind of denied her that angle of a good shot, but at the same time, they left a man wide open.
Chester. Good work by the Courage again. Squaring away, that was Katie Groff, senior to be at Duke. Successfully kept Chester away from that ball. A special hello to one of the architects of the Indy 11 season ticket holder 0001. That would be Peter Wilt, enjoying today's game at his favorite pub. Hello, Peter. Glad you're tuned in and enjoying the broadcast today. Throw in coming here for Chatterton. Indy's had a few players starting to loosen up. That is not the case for the Courage just yet. And it'll be a foul against Chester.
A little too much contact, and, you know, ref's going to call that every time.
Chatterton looks to play that ball backwards. It's a right back from Grace Ball. And Chatterton used that speed.
That was great tracking there by Geigel to make sure that she disrupted that play.
Chatterton. Now Dewey. Dewey had one of the two really great looks for the Indy 11 so far. They were spoiled by Emmy Allen. But frankly, if you're just tuning in, this is where most of this match has been played. Kind of in the midfield, going back and forth.
Right, they're very patient. They're just making sure if something's not on, they're not going to force it. They want to try and maintain possession, and both squads are doing this at this time.
Krasula, Rogers, here's a look. Dewey, but Allen read it immediately. Fantastic work by the keeper.
She's playing high because she can,
right,
and she needs to. She needs to make sure that if a ball is played over the top like it was there, losing the ball, and that would have been a great transition opportunity for Indy 11 to score there. But yeah, well read by Allen.
Chester trying to slow down the midfield run by Groff. Advantage is being played. 5 defenders back for Indy. Martin on the task defensively. Oliaro has been the epicenter of the offense. Gets around, looking back post. Reason lost it for a moment, but there was not a threatening player there waiting. It's on the backside for the Courage.
Martino did a good job in holding back, but she just wasn't far enough back to maybe get something on that, but they still maintained possession, so that was a good read by her in terms of not overcommitting there. Excellent composure there. It was 1-on-2, and Courage able to maintain, and what a tackle there. What a tackle by Chatterton.
Today's match presented in part by our friends at Fluid Waste Services, Indiana's premier utility service provider since 1989. And we'll have the trainer whistled out really for the first time today. We've seen a couple of hardcore collisions, but first time where the trainer will have to come all the way across for the visitors from North Carolina. These two franchises will always be linked because the kind of similar club for the Courage is North Carolina FC, formerly known as the Carolina Railhawks, which is the first match in the history of the Indy 11 back in April of 2014. And 3 months later, Indy got their first league victory against the Railhawks at Wake Med Soccer Park in July of 2014. We do have a player, while a player is down for the Courage, another player is kind of getting stretched out on the far side, and it looks like that warm-ups are going to begin in earnest for North Carolina Courage's U23 squad. They've not been losing of anybody yet. That is about to change.
All right, we're seeing who's actually there behind the bench. You know, looks like, yeah, they're going to have to make a sub. I'm not sure if it looks to be like her hip, the way that she fell there, perhaps, you know, by Graham. But hopefully, you know, we don't want to see any injuries on either side. So hopefully she's able to just come off, quick breather, and then come back on.
Graham again will be a senior at Duke. She's got 7 goals and 9 assists in 63 matches for the Blue Devils. Duke reached the NCAA quarters last year before falling to the University of Alabama.
It's good to see her, able to jog off, so that is good to see. Because we all know that, yes, this is a great moment for both of these squads to be here playing in the championship match, but many of these girls, it's a tune-up for their college season. So we never like to see any of the players get hurt because there's always more promising things for them to do on the field.
And you're basically playing in matches that count in 3.5 weeks. The college soccer season's kind of bumped up a little bit where it's now really mid-August when they're playing matches that matter, at least from a non-conference perspective.
Exactly. So, these players are using this time to be primed and ready and, get ready. Some of them may not have been a starter. Some might be a starter, but you're trying to get that ultimate position of, getting a starting position and wanting to do what? Go on as far as you can in that tournament.
Soderstrom tried to find Chester, just couldn't slide it through. Sports This Match brought to us by Community Health Sports Medicine. Exceptional care simply delivered. Barr, college teammates with Rose Lavelle in their days together at Wisconsin. Grace and Rose keep good touch with each other. So that was my go-to source. Hey, is Rose going to be okay for the World Cup? Grace said she's fine.
Yep, they have a great coach there, Paula Wilkinson, who's, I used to play against her back in the day and coached against her as well.
Left-footed shot that bobbled by Reason, but no one's inside of the 18. A shot from distance from Groff that, again, was a shot on goal, but not a threatening one.
Definitely not. Didn't get much on that. She had space and time to get the shot off, but she just didn't have, anything behind it. And, she probably needed to have just, maybe place it a little bit better in that instance.
Throw-in coming for the Indy 11 right in front of the North Carolina Courage bench. We approach minute mark number 60. There will be a substitution. In fact, looks like a pair of them. So our first substitution of the match, we'll see Mackenzie Geigel exit. So her day is over with. Also getting ready to enter. One of the two Brown sisters will be entering this match for the North Carolina Courage.
Amelia Brown.
So they both play at the University of Minnesota. Much like Brooklyn Holt, they've got a rather famous father that's got a background in athletics. Their dad, Chucky, played for 13 years in the NBA, won a title in the 1995 season with the Houston Rockets. Older sister began playing locally in North Carolina, transferred to Minnesota. Little sis went along with her. Thought it was so cool that the older sister wears her dad's number 52 in college soccer. I thought that was really a nice touch.
That is. Hey, it's a nice way to honor, your father and do that or whatever it might be, but has a special significance to her, so that's great.
You've got a kid that wears 62 in college baseball, so you have respect for those higher up numbers on the roster.
Exactly.
A chance for a restart here for the Indy 11. Barr sends it in. Martin couldn't get to it. I'm going to ask for a handball, I think, that time, but again, not enough in it. And then Barr, if this were high school wrestling, that was a three-point takedown that Grace just had there.
Yeah, good point. Good point. Now they do have girls high school wrestling.
That they do.
And it will soon be a
high school sport in Indiana, absolutely.
Which is great to see. Another opportunity for girls to play a sport.
A restart coming here. Again, there's not been the spell of possession. It's been a little bit more disjointed, seemingly, from the 11 perspective here in this half. Creel having to quickly hustle back, and I do believe she knocked that off the oncoming attacking player. Yep, goal kick coming. It was off of Oliaro.
She did an excellent job in making sure that, she put her body in between and, with some of the things that you like to see a defender do to make sure that the forward's not going to be able to get possession of the ball there.
Today's game presented in part by our friends at Alpha Health and Wellness. They are the official Indy 11 W League team chiropractor. Nice touch by Coach Delinsky. He did that legally, by the way, as the ball had crossed the touchline.
Once a player, always a player.
Dewey knocks it forward, but Chester was not there, and Brooklyn Holt will take the throw in here for the Courage. Chester looking for Williams. Williams, the nudge. Now can she get it back? Yes, Williams!
Excellent, excellent right there. What a finish, what a finish.
First goal of the match comes in minute number 64. It is time to cue the smoke in Indianapolis, and Indy has a 1-goal lead, and all of a sudden now, the sands of the hourglass start to fly through with 26 minutes left to go.
Well, it just might be the only goal of the game, but what a superb goal there. And by none other than Maddie Williams, who knows how to find the back of the net.
And I thought that was all about watching at the edge of the 18 to win that ball back to a teammate. That's what set up that look to give Indy the first goal of the match.
Exactly. And I know we see the end of it here, but just before that in Carolina, they were complaining that what had happened was that they thought that they were fouled. But she made that extra effort to make sure that she won the ball back, played it back in the midfield, and she continued her run off the ball. And when she continued that run, she had split the defense there. She totally split them, and that's why she was able to get in behind and on that back shoulder to create a goal. And here comes another opportunity.
Here's Williams through the haze again, but never could get a controlling touch on it, and then again commits the foul. Great job by Alvarez to get in front of her. But how about off the side of her foot? The goal scorer's mentality, just to find a way to tap it past the oncoming keeper in Allen.
Exactly, and that is something that she's done so well in terms of all season when we've seen her play, is always make sure that, you know, if you lose possession, you have to try and do whatever you can to regain it.
Giveaway, but Dewey did not have a good angle of attack. But all of a sudden, the feeling of this match is completely changed. And so now let's talk tactics. If you're Paul Delinsky, do you change how you're playing a goal to the good here?
No, you're not. You know, it's working for you right now. And look, I do think that once you score that momentum, all of a sudden you feel a little bit extra urgency, and you're like, hey, look what we just did. So you're not going to take your foot off the gas. But how is it going to respond? How are they going to respond in terms of the courage? Are they going to, you know, fight their way back? And they can't just lay down. I mean, you literally have, you know, 25 minutes left, so let's see what they can do. Let's also note there are 3 players now by the 4th official waiting to enter for the Indy 11s. They will put some fresh legs into the mix. This portion of this match brought to us by Alpha Health and Wellness, official Indy 11 W League team chiropractor. Jenna Chatterton looks like her legs are just fine. Thank you very much. A little strong with that touch, though, to get it back to Maddie Williams. Right. Now, you know what? As a defender that's overlapping, she had split those two. Fine pass outside. She'd already beaten the 2 defenders. She didn't have to give the ball back yet. She could have maintained possession, drawn over that outside defender, and created, you know, numbers up for Indy 11 going forward. Whistle coming here. Greta Krazula, Katie Soderstrom, both done for the day. Sam Dewey, the same as well. So basically, an entirely new midfield will be coming on here for the Indy 11. Emma Johnson is one of those players that will join the fray. She is 15 years old. She scored as a 14-year-old in a regular season match last year. She has not featured as much until late in the match. It looks like Maddie Williams has also played her last as well. So a line change coming on here for the Indy 11. Look at other players and changes as need be. Chatterton amongst those that has stayed on. Aaliyah Martin trying to find an escape route. Knocks it all the way back to Holt in the midfield. Rafferty Kugler
Maisie Whitsitt has entered. Maisie had 6 goals early in the year for the Indy 11, got hurt, didn't play for a series of few weeks. And we've talked about, there's this variety of players that are kind of former pros that are playing. Then you have the current college players. She's in the middle of that mix. Hey, I'm looking to play in this league to kind of get some tape out there and play professionally. Whitsitt from Southern California just finished up her time at the University of Louisville. Here's Johnson now. Soderstrom. Well, I thought Soderstrom was exiting. She did not, so she stayed on. It was Williams that exited her spot. And a corner kick coming for the Indy 11 in minute number 69. The 2 subs remaining for the Indy 11. They've got 2 windows in which to do that. Kugler is in the game as well. So Rafferty Kugler, who played both at Milwaukee and then last year at the University of Kentucky. And she is now a post-collegiate player as well. So Indy has added an extra defender into the mix as well. Ball sent in, curling ball back post. Great job by Allen to punch it. Best she could do was simply just give the corner but not give the goal. We'll go to the other corner flag and do it again for the Indy 11.
Yeah, excellent job tracking that ball and making sure that she got something on it, because Indy 11 was lurking just behind there at that the far back post.
Chester going to give a short option here. Johnson sends it in and ends up bending it a little bit too far. What a moment. You're 15 years of age and you're playing in front of, about 5,000 or 6,000 people for a league championship.
Yeah, it's a pretty unique experience, and hopefully it, continues to inspire her to, to continue to play at that next level. Getting this opportunity is great.
She will be a high school sophomore. She does not play at the high school level. She just plays academy soccer. And she has been busy with the ECNL season. Kugler. So fresh legs for Kugler. And she played at one of the great mid-major programs in Milwaukee and then transferred to Kentucky for her last year. Chatterton's all by her lonesome on the left side and now gets it, but by this time the defense has a bit of a chance to reset.
Yeah, the Courage, they're trying to get more numbers forward without leaving anybody exposed.
Soderstrom keeps it in. Same could be said for the Courage as well, as Martin with a good ball to get it to her, weaving her way through traffic. That's Johnson trying to break him down. Couldn't clear the defender. We mentioned she's 15 years of age.
Great opportunity for her. Nice composure there, and she just had too many numbers to beat.
How about Indy, after getting this goal, maintaining possession since that time?
And like I said, it's given them a little bit more confidence. You are up 1-0. You're not afraid to I'm not going to say that you're going to concede, but you have that extra bit of confidence being up.
Today's match presented in part by AES, accelerating the future of energy together. Last year it was South Georgia Tormenta that won the inaugural W League final. We have a first-time winner regardless of what happens here. Liaro is trying to find a seam. Now left side ball that Kugler couldn't get to, but slowed the progress, and a nothing ball there, and Reason able to snag it quickly.
Yeah, it was, as Oliara was able to maintain possession, slide all the way across the field, give an excellent pass, on that side, and they just didn't really make anything of it, delivering it straight to Reason in the box.
Martin, ball deflected, but finds its way to Whitsitt. Whitsitt was one of the stalwarts of this team early in the year. That's going to be a foul on Martin.
It's a good foul to give in that instance, definitely, because if she would have made it through, Martin had pulled up, and they only had 3 backs at the time.
She spent time in the NWSL, so I think we can say that's a professional foul that Martin just gave there in the midfield. Ball rolling forward towards the corner flag, around Kugler. Here's an opportunity. Walking the tightrope, Reason.
What a great save, great save.
And then Johnson. What a job by Emma Johnson off the bench. Not out of danger just yet. Liaro at the edge of the 18.
She saw that opening. She had split those couple defenders.
And then a break on a couple of fronts from the Indy 11. An errant touch by Holt. Gives it back for a goal kick. But Indy had a player down in the midfield, and that was Martin that comes up a bit gimpy at the edge of the 18. So they were kind of defending a player down in that scenario.
Yeah, and it appears that the Courage are, they're attacking. They're trying to hit that attack, hit that right there to make those defenders commit more than one. And then next, they have to be conscious not to overcommit numbers and get numbers down there.
Of course, this match brought to us by AES, accelerating the future of energy together. Liaro. Alvarez. Ball headed down, and Reason couldn't get to it. We're tied at 1 in the 75th minute, the equalizer for the Courage.
And what an awesome job just by going to the ball. And nobody committed defensively for Indy 11 to take that personal responsibility to see who is marked up.
A tremendous opportunity. That is Martino that got it to go.
Martino, she read the timing perfectly. And like I said, they're looking to, send the ball in, make sure that somebody commits. Well, nobody committed to go to the ball in terms of, in that last instance.
That will also bring us to our hydration break. And so a chance for Indy kind of to collect their breath. For Indy, you have made some subs to get players like Williams and Dewey off the field. So now you've got a little less firepower up top. North Carolina Courage now with momentum squarely back on their side. And while you can say, hey, a defender didn't get there in time, that was a heck of an effort by Martino to get that thing up and over Reason towards the back post.
Yeah, when a ball's flighted like that, and it was a well-driven ball just into the box. And as an attacker, when you're sending the ball in, you're not sending it just like at the top of the 18. It was well played. Here it is. They're going to have a nice combination. They're just waiting for something to happen. And as the ball's sent in, she had started a run at the 18, and she saw the flight, and she just followed it. And she's like, "Hey, I'm going to get something on it," and that's what she did. And that's not an easy ball to save, as we saw. I think the only person that I've ever seen make a great save, going back post away from your momentum is probably Hope Solo.
That's a pretty high level of talent that it takes to be able to get that ball.
And I'm talking on the women's side.
Of course.
On the women's side, because there's excellent, keepers on the men's side, as we know, but that's very hard to recover on one of those.
So momentum is fickle. Chester will exit as Lizzie Sexton will come on for the Indy 11. So Soderstrom now will play more of a forward role, joined by Whitsitt and Johnson. Is this match heading to time past the 90th minute?
Fitness is going to play a key factor here, and we'll see how, knowing that, Indy 11 does have fresh legs. They've made 4 subs now. And Courage, here's an excellent opportunity.
Soderstrom, can she cut it back? Tried to get it through 2 defenders, couldn't do it. Holt then got a touch and played it off the Indy 11 player. So throw in coming for the Courage, and they restart quickly. But a giveaway. Johnson at the edge of the 18. Trying to cut it through. Martin. Soderstrom goes down. No. Good read by Sexton. Sexton forces the giveaway, a throw in coming for the Indy 11. At this late stage of the match, it would take a lot to get a penalty.
Yeah, you have to maintain your feet there, you would hope. And, that was in tight space there. You had Johnson to Martin, back up to Soderstrom. You have to maintain possession there.
A couple of substitutions will be coming in here for the Courage. Alvarez's day is done. Looks like also exiting the match for the Courage. It looks like Chisholm is done for the day as well.
Yes. So the young Alvarez, and now Emma Johnson is definitely the youngest player, but she's the youngest player by far in terms of because Alvarez was on the U17 academy team.
Oliaro will flip sides of the field, so she will go to the left flank. Goldthwait will come in to play up top. Indy still has one substitution they can make. Ochangbo and Susie Soderstrom are loosening in case needed. Sounds the Brickyard Battalion doing what they can at this point.
Excellent look over the top there.
And Reason will handle easily. Of course, this match is brought to us by Johnson Controls. Johnson Controls, the power behind your mission.
It's a good look to go over the top there by the Courage, but in terms of what Indy 11 was able to do, they had two players running back, and so that was a good job defensively.
Here's Holt. Holt, ball knocked off a bar. Rogers then heads it to Martin. And Martin will blast it forward. And Soderstrom will give chase. This will go all the way back to Allen at the edge of the 18. Ball hit there by Askew. So Maddie Williams with the opening tally of the game. Indy led it for approximately 15 minutes before Martinho found the equalizer.
And you can see here that Martin is now pushed up into the midfield, so probably have a little bit more of a calming factor.
Today's match brought to us by Masters Heating and Cooling. Masters gets there faster. Find out how at mastersheatcool.com or call 866-824-HEAT. Johnson just keeps on going. Johnson a hit from distance, hits off of a defender, which allows Allen to make a relatively routine play outside of the 6.
Yeah, 3 players collapsed on her, and that third defender was able to, after the first 2, kind of slowed her down slightly. That third defender, that's where the deflection came off of.
Good read by Kugler, knocks it forward to Sexton. Her ball just a little too much on it, and it leads to nothing for the Indy 11. A goal kick coming here, now in the 81st minute. And Indy will make their final substitution of regulation. They will have both of the Soderstroms on the field. Susie will be coming on, replacing Jenna Chatterton. Susie plays at DePaul. She was their second leading goal scorer last year. So the sisters both scored goals in the regular season finale for the Indy 11 against St. Charles FC. Chatterton has played her last in minute number 82. And Allen being given a friendly reminder about time wasting for the Brickyard Battalion behind her.
She took quite a long time there. Well, let's see these, the final 9 minutes. Let's see who can, get these numbers forward, as they're getting into the attack. And as you can see, they're relying more and more on this long ball.
Oliaro around Kugler. Kugler holds her ground, turns and wins it. Now Whitsitt just couldn't get to it in time. Indy with a throw in, but Whitsitt was not going to wait to be told. She was going to take the chance that she might have won that ball. She did not.
And she did not, no. What not trying to say that it's sneaky or anything, but you're just trying to be proactive and get a little bit of an advantage for your team.
I would say sneakily proactive is the way to describe that. Both of those things can be apropos. Soderstrom has gone from playing, as in Katie, a midfielder role to obviously playing up top in the attack for Indy. And Indy being a little more particular in terms of when they press, when they pick up. That ball, kind of that flat ball across the back. Indy will likely allow that to happen for the rest of the match.
Oh yeah, that way they're not really expending too much energy there.
Moxley finds the goal scorer in Martinho.
Martinho loves to have the ball at her feet, attacking midfielders and she's able to control so well. And, splitting, obviously she scored that goal, but, she's looking for that one breaking pass to split that D. And then when it's not on, she just comes back, has a little safe spot to go back, and then they recycle.
Brown. The many second half debutantes now playing in this game.
Being nice and patient, the Courage are, and that have excellent long ball played in.
And Carroll will simply get in the way, and turf turns into track. Let's hope that Oliaro's okay. That is a short runway after the end of the byline here. It's like Creel is trying to make sure that she's not going to cramp up at some point in time here in the late stages. Again, now with kind of clouds taking over, keeps the temperature down, but this is after 80-plus minutes, and again, you're doing so on turf, and we have a player down behind the play for the Indy 11.
Yeah, it looked like Martin when was that Brown that went up with her?
Yep.
Yep. The other Brown. We have Amelia and Izzy.
Martin says she's okay, and I think Indy had possession. They're going to, I think, basically either have a drop ball or have the Courage kind of give it back to Indy in a non-threatening spot here.
Exactly. The obligatory, you drop it and you just play it back to whoever had possession.
So there's a little debate or discussion as to who should have this here.
Right. I think, they're both saying that, no, we had possession.
Yeah, Indy had it, yeah.
Right. And then Courage were like, no, we hit it and we were running onto it. So, if we only could listen in.
And Rogers will simply knock it back. By the way, the final 5 minutes presented by our friends at Johnson Controls, the power behind your mission.
Fresh legs there going forward.
Soderstrom. Trying to make the turn is Whitsitt. Whitsitt looking for some help across the way. Plays it across, sliding effort, no. Tee it up, Sexton, no! Goal, saving clearance by the Courage.
What a build-up there. What a fantastic build-up, only to be denied.
It will be a trip to the corner flag for the Indy 11.
Yeah.
Let's take a second look.
She crossed it, and, we had a sliding player in, and she goes far post. Goes far post, but it's saved by the post.
It was post.
It could have been at least maybe a little bit deflected, so I'm sure Allen's going to be kissing that post here in a minute, saying thank you.
I thought it was Groff that got there, but no, it was the woodwork that did the job. Sexton missed a potential game winner by inches. Indy won their match in the 91st minute last week. Are more late match heroics in store. Low line drive that Sexton couldn't get to first. Johnson will give chase from the Indy 11 perspective.
Getting out quickly and getting organized. There's the Courage.
Too much on that one.
Yeah, you got to play that out wide. Dumping it straight back in the middle is just not a good option at this time, especially after you had some momentum going here. Well, 11 could, they could, serve themselves well by pressing. They have, a couple fresh legs there up top. Press, and see if they can maybe get a turnover here. You have numbers going far post as long as Martino just might be able to find her.
Played all the way across.
Liaro, once again, going at her. Get on that back foot when she tries.
Good job by Sexton.
Excellent job not to dive in at that instance.
And Johnson, ball knocked forward, and it's an Indy 11 throw, and you heard that groan for a moment. Soderstrom had kind of nothing but air and opportunity, just needed a rocket pack to get to that one, the way that ball was hit. Restart is quick for the Indy 11. Martin and Soderstrom working the 1-2 combination. Martin onside. Martin inside of the 18. Then knocked away. Good job by Brown. Throw incoming for the Indy 11.
Yeah, Holton Brown did an excellent job in double teaming. And, even though one player committed, that was fine because the second player was there to thwart anything by Martin.
But the build-up ends for the Indy 11. We've got a final 70 seconds of regulation. 3 additional minutes. But this one could be going past 90 and closer to 120. Soderstrom couldn't get there in time.
Great composure there to make sure they just didn't give away the ball. Look at the weight of that pass.
Here's an opportunity here at the edge of the 18. Have a hit. Skies it.
Yeah, it's excellent played. Right there at her feet, she's able to turn. But once she was turned, she wasn't able to get a good angle. She kind of leaned back, and that's why she sailed it over the top of the bar.
Both sets of sisters in the game. The Browns for North Carolina, the Soderstroms for Indy. Well, Braylon Francher is in there as well in terms of subs have entered for North Carolina Courage U23. So we're now into added time, 3 minutes before we get to the conclusion of regulation and potentially 30 more if needed.
Martin's pushed up even more, trying to create a little havoc there.
She comes up with a big gimpy at the end of the play. Allen. Brown, excuse me.
Trying to play the long ball, and they don't have numbers forward. Carolina needs to put the ball on the deck just to make sure that they can get something forward. You saw there, Indy 11, they were trying to, make sure that they could link up. Great split there between 2 defenders.
Slides it through, 1 touch. Just couldn't get a turn and a look on goal, but Indy elects to go for safety, just plays it sideways. Throw incoming here. And nick one at the end if you're the Courage. And just how much is left in the tank for those that have already played 90 minutes. Barr. Brown.
Yeah, Brown served that ball in just, a few minutes too early to her sister there.
Rogers. Now Soderstrom. Sexton. Whitsitt kind of on an island, but not able to do much with that.
She's going to use her space here, which is what she needs to do until somebody actually commits to her defensively. Way to continue that run, and then nice job by Martin stepping in.
Good job to win it back, though, by the Courage. And it's going to be a foul against Martin. So here's a chance for a set piece. Chance to serve one up for the Courage and potentially end this one in the closing seconds.
Yeah, in that instance, Susie was coming over. Susie Soderstrom was coming over as that second defender, and a little communication, could have helped to let her know, hey, I'm here for you. I'm here, just in case.
Well, the ball is going to come back a little closer to the touchline than where it was located. Our referee has said, hey, we're not restarting until the whistle at this point, but Soderstrom was standing by in case needed. It is Groff that will direct the service here for Courage U23. Only one bit of traffic for now inside of the 6.
Yeah, fittingly, Indy has, everyone back, and then they just have to make sure that they get first to the ball here.
Groff sends it in. Reason couldn't get there. Side netting.
Yeah, that angle there at the back post wasn't going to be anything that, that they probably could have connected. If anything, she could have headed it or just try and, bring it back across the goal, but that would probably been almost impossible at that angle.
Well, the dying embers of regulation have been extinguished. We have 30 more minutes trying to figure out who is going to win the second W League championship. A goal for the Indy 11, equalized by North Carolina Courage U23. So we will play 2 more 15-minute sessions. If that does not determine a winner, then we are going to penalties to decide our second league champion. After 90, it's the Indy 11 1, North Carolina Courage U23 1, and we're back for added time after this final commercial break as you're watching on ISC and 11 Sports.
For over a century, Indiana has been the destination for sports innovation and the state where champions are crowned. Now, we're entering a new era with Sports Tech HQ, a place that inspires innovation and invests in entrepreneurs who are changing the game, one startup at a time. Welcome to the crossroads of sports and technology. Sports Tech HQ, home of the game changers.
At Masters Heating and Cooling, we dedicate ourselves to serving our community with professional service and groundbreaking home comfort solutions, keeping each and every customer comfortable in their homes all year round, which is why we offer financing options, perks, and coupons to each of our customers. Like our apples-to-apples price match guarantee. We'll meet or beat any heating and cooling system replacement offer. So what are you waiting for? Pick up the phone or visit our website to learn more about Masters Heating and Cooling's money-saving offers and other unique special promotions.
I'm a happy-go-lucky guy, but sometimes I get a little stressed because I'm not for sure what's going to happen down the road. I was at the cancer unit, and when I come out from seeing the doctor, I said something about needing some help with all the paperwork. They gave me a name and a phone number. Her name is Molly. She works over at Community. She tells me, stop worrying, let me take care of it. She is my angel.
Stand by me. You're looking at our future, working together, learning from each other, and teaching everyone how our lives can improve with greener, smarter energy. At AES, we champion this innovation, and the work we're doing globally is coming right here to Indianapolis, so that our community can enjoy smart energy solutions that power our lives while energizing the next generation of innovators. IPL is now AES Indiana. We are accelerating the future of energy together.
Extra time will be required. We will play 2 15-minute sessions, and if that does not determine a winner, we are going to penalties to determine our USL W League champ. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access, Tuesday nights at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Plus, hear live matches from the USL, MLS, English Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157 and the SXM app. Greg Rakestraw, Angela Berry-White. Indy got the first one. We thought that might have been it. That was not the case. Maddie Williams, double-digit goals last year, 7 in limited minutes this year. That gave Indy the 1-goal lead. But to the Courage's credit, they found one nearly 15 minutes later from a former pro to a teenager that scores the equalizer for the visitors from North Carolina.
2 very impressive goals there, and throughout the game we saw impressive saves made by, let's just say, the tandem of the UNC goalkeeper staff right now.
The UNC goalkeeper depth chart is quite strong, as per usual.
It is. So, you know what? They've done a great job. I look at this first 15 minutes, and it's going to come down to their, fitness is always a factor when you are playing a game, playing soccer. And they've already, you have limited amount of substitutions. So with those that are still on the field, you got to make sure of a couple important things. One is let's not kill the players that are already on there by serving too many long balls. Can we maintain possession and make the other team, whoever has possession, make them make a mistake? Make them make a mistake and see what happens. And let's see in that final third. We saw glimpses of it when, Emma Johnson came in, and then with Whitsitt, let's see what they can do. Conversely, on Courage's side, you have Brown that came in. You also have Goldwaite, so you have some fresh legs up top, and maybe they can, get that job done.
Let's thank our friends at Johnson Controls. Johnson Controls, the power behind your mission. Let's thank our tremendous ISC Sports Network crew, Jordan Shue, David Kahn, Rob Lynch, Charlie Hammock, and Elijah Mash, making sure that our signal gets to you wherever you might be watching from on this Saturday afternoon. Indy 11 looking to claim a league championship. For the first time in men's or women's team history, their men's team won the spring season championship in the North American Soccer League 7 years ago. Lost in the Soccer Bowl final on kicks to New York Cosmos back in 2016. First couple of stars on the North Carolina Courage logo from what their NWSL program has accomplished.
Yes, and they're hoping to follow on those footsteps of, winning a title. But it'll be the first at this level for either one of these. So it's an important match here that they're, trying to get a foothold in this league and just let everyone know that they're here and they've made their mark.
You've given us 90 minutes. How about you give us some 30 minutes more?
Free soccer, as I like to call it.
We will play 15 minutes. We will then flip sides. Right now, because of the cloudy conditions and not much in the way of wind, frankly, it's not advantageous going one way or the other, but we're not going to, change rules of the sport in terms of 30 minutes. So we'll have 15 minutes going in each direction. There is no golden goal here. We'll play it out. And if we are still level after 30 minutes of additional time, then to the spot we go. And you are hearing from the assistant referee saying, hey, that's not a throw-in. It didn't cross the line.
Yeah, you don't pick the ball up until you know.
Thankfully, our field mic was placed right there where you can. That was the important voice you were hearing, was the AR who had the call there that said, no.
That's why you once again, play the whistle, play the flag.
Here's Johnson, one of the 5 Indy 11 players who came on in the final 30 minutes. And both teams have made significant substitutions. Foul called against Aaliyah Martin. She and Brown were tangled up together.
I thought by then there was an advantage, even if there was going to be a foul called.
And Barr with the foul. That's kind of the second time she has had a tactical takedown. Knew she was beat, so Barr gave the foul. And a chance to throw some numbers forward here for North Carolina.
Yeah, there was also the overlapping run that was about to happen when she committed that foul. So, yeah, tactical foul, exactly. And let's just make sure that, that one is looking to drive that ball in. And they have to, well, no, they don't have a wallop. They just have a one-man there, but it looks like she's going to, back off. Well, back to 2. So they have a short option. Short option, get in line, cross, or go that back post. Even though they don't have numbers up.
A little confusion as to who was marking whom for the Indy 11. And an ever-changing formation by North Carolina. Now the ball sent in.
It was a great opportunity there. Martinho got ahead on the ball. She started an offside. She came back just before it was kicked. And was that Brown, actually? Brown that made that connection.
And a corner being given. Understandably, the BYB not happy about it, but a little dissension from the Indy 11 saying, hey, I didn't think that was the case.
Yeah, from our vantage point, it did look like it came off the head of a Courage, but that's why the referees, that's why they have whistles. We don't.
All sent in. Rogers got there first.
Great pack post. Way to be there for the Indy 11 there.
Barr got ahead there first. Whitsitt, the player closest to it. And Whitsitt has some of the fresh legs on the pitch for the Indy 11. She can burn a little more energy. Sending some pressure at the top of the formation for Indy. There's Whitsitt, the ball at her feet right now. Soderstrom to her left, making an overlapping run. Whitsitt knocks it forward, and again, Katie Soderstrom on the other side has been going since the beginning of the match, and just nothing left in that scenario.
No, and I don't think she was anticipating receiving that pass. Probably thinking the ball was going to continue to go on that left side at that moment.
And that'll be a foul against Emma Johnson.
Yeah, these first few minutes, I think we've seen more fouls than we did basically did with that second half. So I think that's a testament to someone's getting tired.
Yeah.
Both teams trying to get a little tired, and accordingly so, because it's going into, here we are in overtime.
Holt with the ball to space, and Martin has been the marshal of the midfield since those substitutions happened for the Indy 11 following the Maddie Williams goal. Sexton could not get there in time. And talking with Addie Chester this week, she said her teammate in Lizzie is learning a new position. That right back is somewhat new for her. She's going to play a little more midfield role here today. The right back was a spot that she played a lot this summer for Indy.
Well, it's nice to have these players get the opportunity to play someplace else where might end up making them more valuable at the next level or going back to their college teams.
Rancher. Goldthwaite. Now Brown.
She has space.
Martinho. Kugler timed it well. And Johnson will simply knock it back to midfield. Whitsitt on the 50-50 ball. Couldn't get there. But he does just enough, and now Rogers has some real estate and has an outlet. Soderstrom able to flatten out the run. Holt won the foot race, and then a foul, not a card. Just again, there was a trip there.
Yeah, just nicked the back of her heel there, and she went down. And we've talked about it before, what defenders need to do. Step in between the ball and the man to create that wall, and the only way to win it is through a foul.
Brown holding up space. Groff, good looking ball here. Trying to take a settling touch now, leave it for a teammate. Is there a window? The clearance not great from the Indy perspective. Brown's shot does not get through. Barr with the block. Now the left foot. Let's use the baseball analogy, was a can of corn for no reason.
Exactly. It was a good job, though, by Indy 11 to get numbers behind the ball. It looked like they were caught off guard there on that long ball played to switch the field.
Player down for Indy. Rhonda Ojongbo is available if needed as the extra substitution, but they back up as the injured Indy 11 player. About midway through this first half of added extra time. As expected, a phenomenal turnout by the Brickyard Battalion for today's game.
Yeah, the Courage are doing a good job of finding these spaces and trying to create a little bit more numbers up, but Indy 11's matching that by just making sure that they're not getting beat on one pass and leaving, leaving a defender on an island just to be, defending 1v1. So they're doing a good job to, making sure that nothing gets past them.
Good read. Soderstrom has one target in Whitsitt that's flaring towards the back post. Soderstrom to the byline, and that's going to be a corner. Well done. Groff got a boot in the way, but it was Soderstrom that earns the corner for the Indy 11 here in the 99th minute. You can see both teams are kind of taking every chance they can get a little extra oxygen in the lungs right now.
Yeah, it's like let's take your time getting to that, get this set piece going and see what, and like you said, take their time, figure out if I can make that run, kind of, be deceptive too as they kind of set them up.
It's the left foot of Barr. Looking back post. Couldn't get a clear head to it. Then the dialing up the bicycle.
And who is it?
My goodness!
Martin with the shot. Lovely.
Aaliyah Martin. She had the game winner last week. She dials up the bicycle today. There's still 20 minutes left to play, but again, the Indy 11 are back in front.
And she just continued to watch the ball. She missed it there, and she was like, okay, can't do it again. So, second effort. Amazing that it was still on frame.
Coach, having coached her in high school, you seen that on the training ground before?
I've seen everything from her. Coming, bringing us back from being down, and look what she's done today. That's back-to-back weeks where she's been able to get a goal, and she hadn't scored a goal in years. And here she is putting up 2 in 2 consecutive weeks.
75 starts in her years at the University of Michigan. First-team All-American 2 years ago in Ann Arbor, and potentially has now hit the game winner in both the semifinals and the championship. But again, the Courage have already answered once, and they've got time to do it. They've got 5 minutes of this session and 15 more on top of that. And now there may be some high-level time wasting from the Indy 11 with 20 minutes left to go.
And now you want to make sure to have numbers back consistently. There's no need to keep running with numbers 2 and 3, forward this late stage of the game.
There could be some high-level bunkering going on from the Indy 11.
Exactly. Martin's already stepped back, and you automatically see, we have 5 players back.
Well, we've seen 3 at the back at times, and right now it's 5. Left foot. Was there a touch there? I don't think so. Yes, there was. Goal. It's going to be a corner. It is deemed to be a touch. It was close. To the corner flag quickly goes North Carolina Courage. Ball sent in. Reason couldn't get a clear path to it, and it will be a goal kick. Now that time the traffic that Nona was fighting was her own teammates.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a, driven ball there to near post. And it looked like Creel. She was in between the both of them and got sandwiched.
The celebratory beverage for Annika might be some Pedialyte at the end of this game, because she's been kind of stretching and trying to fight through that now for the last several kind of minutes. We have passed the 100-minute mark. That's why you see our clock has gone a little bit haywire. We'll keep you updated on time as best we can. So we're in minute number 102. There will be a lot of real estate balls hit by the Indy 11 at this point. So 2-1 Indy leads here in the first of the 2 extra 15-minute sessions. Martin with the game winner. As of now, she's got the go-ahead goal. Whitsitt fights to a defender. Whitsitt inside of the 18. Has Johnson to her left. Plays it across, but could not connect with a player that is a relatively new teammate for Macy.
Yeah, she had made Johnson had made the near post run, and it was a great dump there in the middle of the, but she did not know that there was not going to be another player running up and playing in the slot or the far post to get to.
Long distance ball to Brown with Martin in her hip pocket. Great job to win it by her. Sliding tackle by Barr, then knocked away. And Susie Soderstrom is there to pounce on it for the Indy 11 and just knocks it towards the fourth official.
Yeah, Brown did a good job of turning and maintaining possession, and just the double team there, and ending up getting her in the end there.
Played it towards the middle, but nobody was there for the Courage, and again, Martin will just knock it sideways. So again, 2-1 Indy here in the 104th minute. Soderstrom with the block. This will be about earning the welts and bruises, trying to block every shot, every pass from the Indy 11 perspective.
Exactly. Don't, Indy 11's making sure that they don't get an easy cross, easy shot, and the Courage, they're going to have to be mindful of, once they get these numbers up into the box, that they try and do something with it.
Rogers will let Whitsitt give chase. Askew hustles over. Indy will allow possession at the back for the rest of this match. What they're trying to not do is get beat on the side. Ball played across. Took a pro Indy 11 deflection. And now Soderstrom. Play a little hold up here with Holt behind her.
Very smart decision. She didn't have anywhere to go, and instead of just trying to make that pass, she held it up just so she could get some help.
So again, 2-1 as we approach a whistle, I'd say probably a minute from now, to get us to the second session of added extra time. Another great play. Here's Sexton looking to make the turn. There has been so much made of these players that have pro experience for the Indy 11. Probably the one that was talked the least about before the last 2 weeks was Aaliyah Martin. And look who has come up huge in the semifinals and now in the championship match. We will have one additional minute of time before we have a whistle for a momentary break for the teams to switch ends.
And, this last 15 minutes is going to be coming down to, okay, who has that little bit extra left in the tank.
Barr hustling back. Ball ricochets. Martin ends up playing an inadvertently off her teammate. Now we'll aim for the Jaguar logo in the center of the park. Approximately 30 seconds before we'll hear a whistle. Good looking turn here at the edge of the 18, left foot. Doesn't get through. Now Brown. Back to Holt. Holt.
Way to find the gap there by Carolina.
Goldthwait with a left foot up and over towards the BYB, and that's it for half number one of added time. Teams will get a brief water break. They will flip ends. You've got a couple of minutes kind of talk tactics. You hear the sounds of the Brickyard Battalion feeling their team is 15 minutes away from a potential championship. If you're Paul Dolinsky, what are you now stressing to your team on the sideline?
Defense. Let's make sure not to give the ball up, especially in the defensive third. When in doubt, let's stretch the field, dump it into those areas that we know that they're going to have to run onto, and let's don't give up any unnecessary fouls to have them create anything off of set pieces.
On the flip side, if you're the Courage, again, you know now you have to dictate. You are chasing it, and done a good job in and around the 18 since going down by a goal. What, if anything, must you do differently?
Okay, first of all, you got to play it quicker. Play it quicker. You know that, in these last couple minutes when they were able to get in the 18 and beat, the Indy 11 defenders, they held on a little too tight. And if you're going to draw those defenders, down to the byline, knock it back out, away from the goalkeeper, away, and then have somebody trailing in to knock it in, because when the ball has skirted out towards the top of the box, no one's been there. And then, you know, a lot during the first 90 minutes, Oliaro had touched the ball so many times. In this very first 15 minutes, I don't think she touched the ball once. Maybe once early on, but they were heavy going right side, middle, and it never came across, and she was one-on-one quite often. So if they do see that there's that opportunity to get her the ball, because she does create a lot. After all, she was, you know, voted the newcomer of the year, and you know, she's had success in beating her defender when she's going at her at speed. So let's see if they're able to get her more involved, and then have a little bit more composure and not hold on to it so long in the offensive third, and they just might tie it up.
15 minutes left in this season. Even if there is an equalizing goal, 15 minutes is all the mileage that you are asked to do. Are we going to kicks from the spot, or are we going to the time where a team's going to raise a trophy? We will have that question answered for you a little more than 15 minutes from now. Looks like there will be a change. It's going to be coming in here. North Carolina's got another substitution. They will pull Martino, who is the goal scorer. Again, her effort in the 75th to level this match was absolutely superb. There's no need in a championship match to quantify the quality of the goals, but the quality of the goals have been utterly insane in this match.
You know, we've seen a great spot by Maddie just outside of the foot. We saw Leah Martin with her little modified bicycle, and then we saw the great header by Martino.
Katie Soderstrup blocked. That's Francher that got in the way. But every throw in, every opportunity now is just, hey, can you drain 5 seconds here, 10 seconds here if you're the Indy 11. Whitsitt looking to make the turn and plays it off for a corner.
Well played by Whitsitt, making sure to maintain possession and not be satisfied with just, okay, I'm going to receive the ball, turn and see what I could do. No, she's going to receive the ball, hold on to it, take that extra time that you were talking about, and see if their team could go ahead and get that corner kick.
And Grace Barr is one of the veterans on the field. She has been the set piece taker and corner taker for a good chunk of the last couple of years. She does not have a short option right now. Johnson may be heading that way or being told to head that way to give her that option. Barr sends it in, and Allen didn't get it cleanly. Kind of had to fight her own teammate for that one, but is recovered now. Johnson has a hit, and again, hits off a North Carolina player. Right now you've had a 90 seconds of nothing, and that's glorious from the Indy 11 perspective.
Yeah, every second, every minute is precious when you have that lead.
I'm impressed by the fitness of the BYB. They're going strong nearly 110 minutes in.
They'll get a little bit of a break before the men's game.
Ball sent in. Creel was lurking, couldn't get to it. Kind of a 5-car pileup at the edge of the 18, trying to get to that, and eventually the Courage come out of there with it. Oliaro. Play it out wide. The sun starts to fight through the clouds again. Some choices here. On the cutback, 3 defenders in the way of the ball. The layoff. Now Oliaro back to the right side. Tries to get on her left foot, working around Soderstrom. Have a hit, but nothing in it and no deflection.
Yeah, she had already beaten Soderstrom there when she had a nice cut back, and probably a little bit of fatigue there. She could have taken a couple more steps into the box, committed another fender, drive it across or drive it far post.
And this is not the time to build from the back for the Indy 11. This is the old Route 1 ball. Do you aim for the edge of campus? And reason obliges. Witsit will steer it back towards the middle of the park. Soderstrom fights to a hip check. Has Witsit in front of her. Witsit couldn't get there in time.
A little miscommunication there on the Courage not knowing who was going to go to get the ball, and then Indy 11 almost capitalized on it.
Liara. I think they heard your coaching point during the break. Get the ball back at her feet.
Right, and she gets the ball. She has a nice run off it, but look, 4 defenders are there.
And it's Martin that makes the tackle, has yet to get up after making the tackle.
You see a lot of this where the ball's run back by Indy 11, and like I said, they're going to throw it into those, those channels where they don't have to, they're going to waste time and not have to actually, lose the ball and something else happens.
Bart ends up keeping it in play.
As they continue to switch the ball, I came back in. See, there you go. Switch it to the other side. Get the Indy 11 to, actually move across and maybe offset them.
Back post, and Oliaro tries to fill that space, and Soderstrom just kind of sensing her on her left hip, says, all right, I'll swing it the other direction. Soderstrom, 3 years younger than her sister Katie, relishing this chance to play with her just for the summer before she heads back to Chicago to play for the DePaul Blue Demons.
Yeah, a special opportunity when you do get to play with your sibling, in any sport. So this is, like you pointed out, there's 2 sets of sisters. So it is nice to see.
And frankly, if you're going to play at this level, you think, okay, I can play high school soccer as a freshman with my senior who's a sister, or sister who's a senior. Not at a place like Carroll, not at the biggest school in the state that has such a wonderful tradition. Moxley. Oliaro is trying to find some bit of space and does earn the corner. And now if you're North Carolina, you take the risk. You start throwing more in the box. And of course, if you're Indy, 10 inside of the 18.
Yeah, everyone back and make sure you're first to the ball. Nothing drops. That's what happened to the Courage. Ball dropped, and Martin was able to get a hold of one and actually put them up.
Moxley sends it in. Creel got to head to it first. Again, it's Oliaro. Plays it in, and Martin didn't clear it the way she wanted to. Goes directly sideways, and so now we'll flip sides of the field, and we'll march to the other corner flag. Same general principles apply. Not the best of service. Rogers probably would have wanted to do more with that clearance. It's basically hitting the reset button. Edge of the 6, Martin got there first. Have a hit, but steers it wide. So much so, that will be not even a goal kick, but a throw-in for the Indy 11.
Yeah, it's one of those opportunities where she probably wished she had that back. She had more time. She didn't take the time to actually look up, and then perhaps instead of just driving it across. Once again, the favorite thing as an attacking player, when you do have time, get to that end line, draw the defenders back towards the goal, and then you can run into that space that they just left and perhaps get a shot off the cross.
Throw in coming for the Indy 11. A little bit of disbelief at that whistle from the Courage standpoint of things. But again, if you are Indy, you are trying to make this final 7.5 minutes as disjointed as possible. And that's kind of what it's turned into here.
Exactly. You're going to try and do anything that you can to disrupt the flow of the game, and for the Courage to make sure that they can't make those linking passes, through the midfield. Oh.
Well, now a reversal of course here. So throw in for North Carolina. Ball knocked forward. Kugler stands up her player. Soderstrom gets a boot in there, gets a second whack at it, and again, it will be a throw in coming for North Carolina.
Oh, wait, now they're...
Yep. The original point was towards Indy 11,
Yep.
but Courage will maintain possession.
Occupying their 3 players, and yeah.
And now Creel's going to get called for a foul just outside of the 18. That's a tough whistle. So here's the opportunity for North Carolina. Indy will set the wall as close as they're allowed to. Now they'll be walked back.
Well, having 4 in the wall, you'd think that Carolina might as well just, why have anybody outside the 18 at this rate?
They'll redirect it. Looking back, post. Headed across. Still loose. Looking for any sort of window. Player goes down for the Indy 11. Indy will simply knock it sideways, and now you worry about a potential injury for the Indy 11 player that is down, and North Carolina is told to hold, because now we'll need the trainer to race out to check on the injured Indy 11 player. That is one of those kind of non-contact injuries that you worry about. It's Martin that's the player that's assisting the injured player. Still haven't gotten a good read as to who that is. I think it might be Kugler potentially as a player that's down.
I think, doing the process of elimination, trying to, see the numbers, see who's up, see who's down. And it's, I think it is Kugler.
So we will obviously have some additional time on the back end of this. I'd say you're looking at least 6 more minutes from this point, if not more. You saw her kind of go to the turf and pound it in disgust immediately. And Creel's going to take every opportunity to
continue to stretch there.
Exactly. And both teams will hydrate when given the opportunity as well. As this match is now hitting the 2.5 hour mark. And the trainer is saying, hey, we got to make that last change. Yeah. So while this injury is being treated for the Indy 11, let's take a look at, you see the goal that Maddie Williams was able to put together. That made it 1-0 for the Indy 11. And Maddie was quickly subbed off after this was over, but again, to North Carolina's credit, Martinho found the equalizer 13 minutes later. And what has changed this one is Aaliyah Martin. Didn't even need to look at it, able to find the back of the net. And as of now, that is the league winning goal. But again, there's going to be several minutes left because obviously Kugler has played her last. Or is that Barr that is down?
No, I think it's Barr.
Yeah, it's Barr. You're right. It's Grace Barr. Yep. So it's Barr as the player that is down.
Not putting much weight on her knee there, so that's not a good sign.
So Barr being helped off. Rhonda Ojongbo. Been largely a little used sub, has kind of played more as the season has gone along. She plays with the Top Hat Soccer organization out of the Atlanta area.
They've been a great club over the years, producing some, top level, college players and even players that have played in the professional ranks as well.
So Indy has used their full complement of field players. Only other backup is Emily Edwards that's available, but obviously they're also out of substitutions at this point. They used 5 during regulation. The added sub you get in the final 30 minutes. Great win by Whitsitt. Now she and Soderstrom have a potential 2v1. Whitsitt racing forward. Brown giving chase. Whitsitt has a go herself, and Allen makes the play. And again, about 2 going forward is all that Indy was going to offer in that scenario.
Exactly. There wasn't going to be any help besides the 2 forwards, and then here they come back. What a lovely touch ball.
Brown plays it across, and oh my goodness, there was a look. Wasn't a great one, But there was the look, and it was steered wide.
Yep, she went, as she, got the ball, she maintained possession. Brown turned back, and like I said before, you got to drive it back towards that, the 6-yard box, and, hopefully something gets out of it, but just off target because she was too far past the near post there.
And again, you see the look on your screen. There's a little under 2 minutes left to go. I would expect a couple more minutes tacked on the back end. Far from done just yet. Whitsitt steers it towards the middle of the field. Rogers digs in. A Jongbo, first touch. Anything in that direction, good for the Indy 11. On the turn, another, but there might be a whistle there, and yet there is. Yep, foul given. And again, you have to take chances in throwing numbers forward here if you're the Courage.
Yeah, try and get something in these last waning minutes of the game.
Jongbo the read.
Your legs are heavy. What can you do to make sure that, that you're going to maintain this lead in the 11? What are you going to do, Carolina, to make sure that, you try and tie it up and send it to PKs?
Rogers knocks this one towards the Swedes, right at the feet of Paul Dolinsky. We'll look towards the fourth official here momentarily and see just how much more time Indy will have to protect this 1-goal lead.
Well, that was great athleticism, running over behind the bench,
That's
over
right.
Over the side signage.
There was going to be nary a player help in that scenario from the Indy 11.
No.
4 more minutes.
Yeah.
4 additional minutes.
Great run, great touch.
Not enough in it. Jongbo got the ball first. Now Emma Johnson.
Yep, take it to the corner flag there.
Johnson has Whitsitt in front of her. Has the run going. Seam opens up. Whitsitt goes down. Nothing in, and again Soderstrom listens to your advice.
Take it to the corner flag.
Campfire time at the corner flag. And Soderstrom, going to be a goal kick. Couldn't hang on to it for long. But that in of itself just took 30 additional seconds off the clock.
As they call that, milking the clock, buying time. You do all you can.
Time wasting is the dark arts if you're the team that is trailing. It is an art form if you are the team that is in front.
Exactly. They need to push everything forward. You're down 1 goal. Carolina needs to push numbers forward. Push numbers forward.
Here's a look, but not really a player making a corresponding run inside the 18. Now numbers are lined up.
Come across the 18.
Moxley at the edge of the box. Oliaro. Soderstrom. Again, will simply try to carve out some space. Great job to win that back by Oliaro. But Soderstrom finds herself in the exact same position. Hustle play to knock it sideways and prevent the corner. Brill sends it in. Whose head was that off of? An Indy 11 player.
Right now, you don't want to give up. You don't want to give up corners. You want to, you need to work to try and get the ball up and out. And you know how, it looks like the goalkeeper's coming up.
Reason knocks it away.
Trouble.
Blasted off the post. There was the look. That will be another corner. And now Allen was about midway up. Now she'll get completely into the mix. So an extra player here for North Carolina Courage.
Another body in the box that could make the difference.
Ball sent in. Bending ball. Reason got it.
She'll lay down for a while. That's smart, It's looks like Martin is telling her, take your time, take your time. Oh, they actually called a foul on that one.
Approximately 90 seconds left to go.
Yeah. When we bring the goalkeeper up, you got to make sure it's outside of the reach of the 6 so the other goalkeeper can't get to it in that instance.
Soderstrom digs in. Does she play it off the North Carolina player? No. Throw in for the visitors. Rogers hits that towards suite number 7.
Thought she might have hit it towards the suite or to the street, but it landed. It remained inside the stadium there in the suites.
She'll settle for the one sponsored by Community Health Network. Now a little more chance to buy some real estate all the way back towards the Indy 11 bench. Has to be hit and hope time here for the Courage.
Yeah, 30 seconds left. It's a long 30 seconds.
Foul called. And if you're North Carolina, take your time in this restart and put everybody into the mix, including the here comes. Maybe have the keeper take it. Yep, right. Allen's going to head over to take it. And there's going to be, I think, a card shown to Ajongbo. And since she just entered the match, she is nonplussed about that situation. Right. Does not care. That's fine.
Right. So here, Carolina has to be. They have to get to the ball first and have numbers run in behind. You can't let Indy 11 clear the ball first time. They have to get to the ball first time here.
Allen sends it in.
Great ball.
Creel got there. It is a corner. Will there be time for said corner? Looks like it. Indy's got to defend one more time. Allen is back into the mix.
Great ball in.
Headed sideways. Keeper is back. Kugler breaks free. Kugler can have a hit. Kugler can have a go for glory. Kugler will maintain it. Frankly, it doesn't matter at this point because that's it. Whistles in. The Indy 11 have won the W League. The race is to the injured player in Grace Barr over by the corner flag. That is as far as she has made it back to the bench. Her teammates race over to celebrate with her. I'm not sure if it's joy or relief that it's over at this point for the Indy 11. Absolutely exhausted. But what a wonderful showcase for this league, for these two teams. The North Carolina Courage gave a tremendous account of themselves. But Indy has beaten another quality team to claim a league championship. After last year going 10-0-2 in the regular season, they were ousted by the league runners-up in Minnesota Aurora in the quarterfinal. This year, winning at Flint, a neutral site win against Minnesota, then hosting San Francisco and winning in the 91st minute last week, going 120 to claim the championship as Paul Dolinsky is handing out handshakes and hugs, and they will carry Grace Barr to the trophy presentation, which we will show you in its entirety here on the ISC Sports Network and 11 Sports. And you know what it's like to win the prize on this pitch. What are these players, what's going through their mind right now?
Total elation. You know what? And to win it in dramatic fashion. You want to win it regardless, but this was dramatic fashion in overtime. You know, that extra time that you have, and what a great performance by both teams. You know, and when you're given, and the other things that so many people don't understand is the fact that you might have, you know, the limited subs. Limited subs did play a part in this because, you know, that's the rules of the game. But to have these players go an extra 30 in this heat, in a final, in a championship match, you know, what a relief, and you know, just proud to see, you know, soccer at this level in this area. You know, proud of Indy 11 of what they've been able to do, and of course Carolina, you know, they have their, you know, what they've been able to do on the NWSL side, as you pointed out, and then it's now starting to trickle down. But it's very promising to see just what's unfolded here today, and to see such a quality match. So you know what? Great job for Indy 11. Congratulations, and you know, congratulations also to the Courage for making it this far, because both of these teams, they didn't make it obviously this far last year. So it was great things to see.
This will be the second trophy presentation for the Indy 11 in this building. The last one took place In 2016, after Indy won the spring season championship in the North American Soccer League, and this Indy team has lost twice in their 2-year history. The league quarterfinal against the Minnesota Aurora last year, and one regular season match was a bit of a stunner, losing to St. Charles back on June 15th. But since that time, Indy not just got a result, but won every match they played. Their final 3 regular season matchups as the champions of the Valley Division. And now, a new piece of hardware will be added into the mix for the Indy 11. And we will carry the trophy presentation ceremony and the medals that will be handed out to each of these 2 teams. The Indy 11 players making a ring around the building to thank the fans that showed up to watch the front half of this doubleheader today. And if you talk to the Indy 11 players, and again, especially those that go back to last year, when nobody quite knew what to expect. Again, the first game in league history took place in Indianapolis, featured the Indy 11 against Kings Hammer FC. It was May 6th of 2022. And there's a phrase that I use often with high school basketball in this area called fire marshal full. It was that full inside the indoor event center at Grand Park. We estimate the crowd at somewhere north of 2,000. And it's funny to hear the players say we couldn't hear each other. It was so loud in that building. Well, the love affair from the Indy 11 fan base, the Brickyard Battalion, has been evident for this team since day number 1. Now, they have been rewarded with victory after victory, and in year number 2, they are rewarded with a championship.
Yeah, what a great accomplishment, knowing that they're in their 2nd year and knowing what they've been able to establish here. And like you said, 2 losses in 2 seasons, making it to the playoffs both season and winning it this season. So, it's promising of what is ahead. We do have to, probably talk about the fact that, there's quite a few players that, may or may not play next year. That's one thing. You would love to see them back here, but knowing who we had, Maddie, love to have, Maddie Williams back if her job allows her to. You have Annika Creel, you have, Leah Martin, Grace Barr. You have some of these players that have actually, they still have their boots on. They haven't hung them up yet, and that's great to see because there is an avenue for them to still participate and play, and that's what the USL W has done. For the sport of soccer, allowing more and more people post-college and actually in college, post-college to play and have an opportunity. So it's been great. Great to watch.
Paul Dolinsky on your screen. What a job he has done in the 2-year history in terms of putting this team together, the recruitment process, the victory lap in front of the Brickyard Battalion. That is a tradition that started in this building in the first match, April 12th of 2014, when the Indy 11 men played to a 1-1 draw with the then Carolina Railhawks, which is now North Carolina FC, under the same badge you see as North Carolina Courage. That has happened, win or lose, after every game here. It doesn't get to happen at Grand Park. There's kind of an acknowledgement and a wave, but the stands are about 15, 20 feet up. You can't reach out and give a high five and a handshake and a hug to fans that have given their all over the course of 120 minutes today, but really over the last 2 summers for the Indy 11 women.
And what a great day to have 2 matches here, and first starting with the women's game, and like you said, the fan base lighting the smoke, and firing that off. That's something that these players will remember, whether, that probably won't ever happen for them again unless they're playing here. But what a great atmosphere that, Mike Carroll Stadium provided in the campus here of, soon to be University of, IU at Indianapolis instead of IUPUI. But what a great day. And to see the excitement, and not only just from the players from winning, but the fans, as we said. The fans just do a great job in supporting them.
So some of the setup still taking place to give the proper reception for both of these teams for reaching this championship match. I want to thank our ISC Sports Network crew, Jordan Shue, Rob Lynch, Charlie Hammock, Elijah Mash. Thank you so much to David Kahn as well. Thanks to our sponsors that have brought you Indy 11 women's soccer over the course of this summer and last. Backdrop is now in place. Some more pictures taking place for the Indy 11 as well.
Looks like a fan got a souvenir. He's
That's
quite
right.
happy.
Paul Delinsky chucked a game ball all the way to the top row of the BYB. I know I asked you a version of this question at halftime, but again, now that we have gone through this championship final, again, your thoughts as to what this league can offer aspiring professional soccer players as there continues to be more opportunities to do this for a living and not just teach or coach, but to be a professional player.
Well, you start with the young players that, these academy players that are, having this opportunity to play at a higher level against older players. That's going to make them better. That's, in terms of what it's going to do for our, our country as a soccer powerhouse on the women's side. This is so important because it's more and more players are exposed to higher level and they're given the opportunities to train more and play more. For these college players, it used to be that once you finished your college season, you would go back home and try and train and you could kind of play. This platform allows you to play in a setting where you're going to get quality games. I mean, this is one of the best matches that I've seen in a while outside of, an NCAA championship or even at the World Cup level or just higher level national teams. So this was a great opportunity for these young players. And, as they look to continue to move on, this is a viable opportunity for them to, like you said, and we talked about, to make that little clip or to get noticed and perhaps attach back onto some of these players and NWSL team and then you have the U23 Courage team to make it up to the first team or one of these other opportunities. We've had quite a few players that have played overseas. You just mentioned one of our own players, Molly. She's playing overseas, just signed a contract. That's what you want to see. You want to see if that's still their dream, that this is another step to help them reach their dream. And I think they've done a great job in providing that.
And let's talk about this also from the perspective of women's soccer in Indianapolis. Again, you grew up playing the sport here when not many were doing it. What this also does is successfully plant the seed, knowing there is going to be a professional team here. We think it's going to be 2 years from now. The Super League begins play next August. The plan is that the Indy 11 with 11 Park will begin playing in August of 2025. And for fans in this area, they'll go, that's right, the women's team has won a championship already. Right. It further cements not just the bond, but again, just kind of for soccer to take root and take hold here in the Circle City.
And I'll say it legitimizes it. The fact that you do have a team that's won. And, at the end of the day, I like to follow winners, you do, and the fan base loves a winning, to see something that they've put together. And so they put together, quality players here to play to win a title. And, knowing that going forward, one's not done. You got to still build on this. So, like I said, you have some players that will X out of playing. Don't want to see that. You might have players, obviously, that will get an opportunity to play somewhere else at a higher league or overseas. And, so we'll see what happens, and hopefully it still continues for the best here. And, as long as there's this opportunity, there will always be, some type of quality soccer that we can watch. And obviously going into that Women's Super League, that will be, going forward in another 2 years. So that'll be excellent and an opportunity that, hopefully a lot of these young fans, aspiring soccer players are here watching, that they'll want to be on the pitch, out here with some of these ladies, one day as well.
Our match officials will be recognized as part of our post-game ceremony as well. You're seeing the North Carolina Courage. I'm not talking over how things played out today. They put together a fantastic effort, and again, all of their players are heading off to play at least one more year of college soccer. They have, I think, 2 players that we saw today that still have high school soccer left to play. And obviously, you know, that is perennially one of the best franchises in terms of the NWSL. Their pathway to professional soccer clearly is well established. It is just being kind of built at this point from the Indy 11 perspective.
Right, and it's you know, opposite ends of the spectrum when you look at it. You know, here's Indy 11 starting to build, and yes, that's where we want to be in terms of I say we as a city here with our team and moving towards what the Courage have. You know, they've won it at the NWSL level, obviously, and now they have the U23 Academy, and we played against all the, you know, their under 23 players. We're fortunate that, you know, like I said, we are starting to build into that same mold. And as long as, you know, the opportunities are there, the sport will continue to grow and we will get better and better, you know, on the field.
I think we're about ready to get started with our post-match ceremonies. There'll be recognition of both teams and our officiating crew for today's contest. And obviously one trophy lift that will happen at the end of it. And thank our broadcast crew. We have been on the air with you now for a little over 3 hours. Such is what happens when you get to 120 minutes of soccer plus a post-game ceremony as well.
Well, you know, I'm laughing at the fact I'm thinking back memories right now when Aaliyah Martin had a nice assist. No, 2 assists the last time that I was here that we won, and then she has the game-winning goal. So this is a lucky place for her, I think.
So let's listen in to our post-match ceremonies.
Presenting the awards tonight and representing the USL League is Amanda Vandervoort, President, USL Super League. Joe Nash, Senior Vice President, Youth and Pre-Professional. And Sarah Reed, Director, Women's Pre-Professional Pathway. As a league, our ultimate mission is to continually grow the sport for women. We want to thank the officials for their continued work to achieve our mission. First, to recognize the officials from today's match, the referee, Isel Ochoa. Assistant referee, Eugene Valencia. The other assistant referee, Grace Barrett. And the fourth official, Jimmy Cristerna. Let's have a big round of applause for our officials today.
Thank you.
And now, introducing the 2023 W League Final MVP with the game-winning goal, number 15, Aaliyah Martin.
Well, Aaliyah Martin, what a story. Again, she is 2 years removed from playing at the University of Michigan. She won a high school state title on this very field and a very fitting MVP. Not only does she have the game-winning goal, but think about the stops that she made defensively throughout the course of this match and going the entire 120 minutes.
Actually, like I said, started off defensive role, moved into that defensive midfield role, constantly on the go, knowing where to be, stepping into that spot to make sure of that they weren't going to have a chance, meaning, they weren't going to, get something off of a set piece or in the during the rule of play there. So, she did a great job on both ends of the field, and actually scoring that game winner was tremendous.
I know she's working kind of full-time around this. Do you think a return to the pro ranks is in front of her? What does the future hold for Aaliyah?
When I did ask her, she said she's just out here having fun.
Good for
and to
her.
see a smile on her face, and then actually, having it be double now, winning. I don't, once you start making money, and I kind of think you kind of want to go back to that because unless you're going full-time playing pro, you're not really getting paid. But that could be something in the future for her if she still decides to stay here and pursue that.
And you see the Indy 11 lining up to offer their congratulations to the North Carolina Courage U23. A team that went 14-1-1 this year. A team that we saw today that was comprised entirely of current college players or younger. And again, while they're going to be disappointed with the result, obviously these are some extremely high-class players. And you can tell that the ACC is going to be in really good shape because most of these players that we saw today will play at North Carolina State or Duke or North Carolina. A couple of players will play at Minnesota. One's going to head to play at Penn State. But this is not exactly breaking news. The Raleigh-Durham area, the Research Triangle as they call it, it has also been one of the hotbeds of soccer development in this country for a long time. And the talent pipeline, pretty doggone special in central North Carolina.
Yeah, it definitely is. And, North Carolina Courage, they just finished winning a national championship at the U17 level, as you pointed out, in this league. And so, they have a great just a great club there, and like I said, it's a good, it's a good blueprint for other clubs, especially like, Indy 11 that are hoping to, build on what they're doing, which is an academy and getting to that next level. So, tremendous on both clubs for, providing more and more opportunities, for young ladies to play and aspire to play at that next level.
And again, for this group, I mean, you get a plane flight home either tonight or tomorrow, and you are, while you're not having to travel far for most of these players back to their college campus, they're just a few miles away in Durham or Chapel Hill or Raleigh, whatever the case may be. You are right back on the training ground on Monday because, again, the college season is 3.5 weeks away, and that's just from a match standpoint, let alone the training standpoint, which is well underway for these teams.
Right, and and I was looking through, their game films, and I was watching a couple games back, and yeah, they have other players that just didn't make it. NC State, Wake Forest, UNC Charlotte. There's quite a few other schools that their players, they've already gone back to college. And that's kind of like the nature of the beast, right now during this time. So, one thing we didn't point out, I don't think, is the fact that the USL, what they did, the way that they adjusted their schedule. It was smart that it didn't go, too far. They kind of bumped it up. And you can't because you would lose more players. So, this was, it was nice that, they adjusted for that reason and maintained their, some good things and good players.
Well, congratulations, North Carolina Courage U23. Frankly, as long as they field a team that is, kind of at this level and in this league, they are going to be contenders to win a championship. And I think how this is going to line up, I really respect the heck out of this. The Indy 11 kind of formed the guard of honor for the North Carolina Courage players to walk through. They are going to reciprocate and do the exact same thing. Shows you the respect that those two teams had for the 120 minutes of battle that they shared this afternoon.
Yeah, it's a nice sportsmanship shown by both clubs here.
And again, because of the now high level of youth soccer we have in this country, and again, because there are players that knew each other, there were, we had two sets of college teammates that were playing against each other today, everybody kind of knows everybody at this point. This is not the first time you have played against these players at a high level. So with that, let us officially welcome the 2023 USL W League champion, Indy 11. And this Indy 11 roster had far more than the 18 players that played over the course of the playoffs. There are some key pieces that, whether by injury or, again, having a professional opportunity like Trinity Watson, think of Hal Hirschfeld heading back to Clemson. Matsuhisa that's going to play at VCU that suffered a knee injury in the month of June. And much like you said, hey, there were players from the Courage that could not play. The same thing you would say for the Indy 11. But these are the 18 that will get a deserved reward. And again, the team will carry Grace Barr to get her medal. She was a player assistant coach for this team last year. She talked on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan this week. She is hopeful to play for the Super League team here in 2 years. She wants to go back to being a professional player. Clearly there's going to be a little injury rehab work, unfortunately, ahead of Grace, but she is soldiering on as best she can. I'm comforted to some degree by the medal that was just draped around her neck. Congratulations to Paul Dolinsky. And Ella Rogers, who gets the honor of going last as the player wearing the captain's armband. And I think that's interesting to note. On a team full of former pros, it's the young lady that's going to go back and play college soccer at Xavier that is wearing the captain's armband. And I think she's kind of hanging loose for that trophy presentation. I'll take that with me if you don't mind, please.
Exactly. As she goes across, and they'll do the countdown, and they'll do the raise, and hopefully there's some fireworks here, maybe. Who knows? Or confetti. That'd be nice too. Get the full celebration.
There's always the smoke coming from the Brickyard Battalion.
Yeah, that would be nice too. But what a great day.
Trophy in hand for Ella Rogers. She gets the honor presenting it to her teammates. She'll walk herself to the front of the line. This has been a championship-worthy team from the day it started. There is a trophy in hand to make it official.
And the old drum roll and the pause and the countdown. Here it is.
The winners of the USL W League, the Indy 11. Congratulations, ladies. Certainly a most deserved champion. Angela, your final thoughts on today and this season for the girls in blue.
Well, you know what? They came back stronger this year, and they got the job done. So how fitting that they were able to play here at home. I think that added to just the overall, the festivities of it and the excitement. So their season, they only lost that one game, but I think the way that they were able to bounce back from that and just build on something every single week with this in mind to be here on this last and final day of the season. So tremendous job by the Indy 11 women, and for everybody who supports them, and just having the opportunity for them to play is tremendous. So it's just been a great day here, and I hope other people, they read about it, they know about it, and then going into next season, they'll have a bigger fan base to cheer them on.
And given the grip that Ella has in that trophy, she may not let anybody else have it for the rest of the night as the team captain. That'll do it for our broadcast coverage from Carroll Stadium this afternoon. Again, cannot thank our ISC Sports Network crew enough for the yeoman's job they did today. Hopefully, we'll see you back here for year number 3 of Indy 11 women's soccer coming up next May. A reminder, the men play tonight at 7 o'clock. It's going to be a quick turnaround here at Carroll Stadium. You can watch that match on ESPN Plus and WRTV Channel 6. Aaliyah Martin got the winner last Friday night. She got the winner today as well. Celebration begins in the Brickyard Battalion. It'll continue all summer long. Thanks for joining us for this W League final on ISC and 11 Sports.